Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Gentlemen. What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for your patience. Look at this. Just started, already got more than 30 people in here. That is great. I should have probably given like a headphone warning or something like that. And yes, just so everyone here knows, I am rocking Los Pollos Hermanos t-shirt. So if you know, you know. All right. Let me pop this bad boy open. Let's see if we can get some ASMR up in here. Hold on. Oh yeah. Oh man, that's great. Yeah, I actually ended up getting a another Los Pollos Hermanos shirt for myself in heather gray, like with the original logo, like the kind of yellow, blue, red, like cartoony logo. And then I went back and I saw that they also made them in youth sizes. So naturally, I had to also get one for my daughter as well. So we're gonna be rocking matching Breaking Bad shirts. I know, I know. Does anyone here know what that is? Like who's Breaking Bad? Third whole gang. Oh man, y'all are crazy. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We actually got a really exciting show this evening, so let's get it popping. And to all my glowies, builders, dilders, and all the folks out there, to all the printers, everyone rocking. Look at that. Look at that usage. Look at the carbon on the layer lines. That's how you know it's getting used. You know what I'm saying? Um, oh, 9 millimeter for the win, and the NFA is unconstitutional as applied to individuals. Thank you. Too many choices. Let's go ahead and get this started. So let's go all the way back here to who was first. And who do we have? We have Senor Bob, who was first, aka Primero, as some people call it. So cheers to you. Congratulations. I'm actually just really thirsty, so hang on. There you go. Congratulations on being first. You, sir, are due at least one high five. So thank you for joining us. And Bob is also, excuse me, Senor Bob is also a channel member. So let's go ahead and, yeah, I don't know where Kurt is. Where's Kurt at, y'all? So let's go ahead and say what's up to all of our channel members that are joining us right now. So Senor Bob is also a channel member. We got Rusty Trombone Shackelford, another channel member. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. Men Against the Masses, another channel member, are also our resident meme artist who is always on point. We got Gabber. What's up, Gabber? Another channel member. Thank you for joining. Wes Eli is here. Congrats for joining as the 100th. Why does that seem difficult to say? Thank you for joining us. Another channel member. Scott D. Magnificent. What's up, brother? Another channel member. We got Mike McClune, my man. What up? Thank you for sharing what you had for dinner. To throw the algorithm off just a tiny little bit, we could we could definitely use that. And a quick little honorable mention. I'm going so hard right now. Love it. Love it. Jason, what's up, brother? Thank you for joining. If you're there with Shana member. Thank you both y'all for joining. We got Goonbeam, the best flashlights in the business for the best price, hands down. Plus, if you use the link in the description and code DARK, I heard that you may get something off. I don't know. A little something special, And to this day, every single day, for about a year and a half, maybe more. I don't even know. Maybe you know what, Goonbeam? I'd like to know when you sent me this first indestructible EDC, which I still have not destroyed. And if you guys saw the video that I did on Instagram, a year with Goonbeam, yeah, I beat it up. I threw it into a literal tub of water like 100 times. Threw it, smashed it down on concrete. I mean, watered it with the hose, mad hose all over the place. Yeah, it was. I'm just really impressed with every aspect of Goonbeam's flashlights. Not only the handhelds, but also the one on my 10.3-inch 5.56 is running like a champ. The one on my pistols is running like a champ. I haven't put those through like super hard, rugged testing, but the one on the Reflay, boy, that thing runs. Love it. Anyway, Appreciate you as a channel member and as a valuable resource for the channel. Thank you. Who else we got up in here? Mike McClune, Senor Bub. Hey, we got FloodMunitions. What's up, FloodMunitions? Also a channel member whom you guys may be getting an opportunity to get to know a little bit better this evening. We got Toy Town Inc. What's up, Toy Town, brother? Good to see you, man. Thank you for joining us. Another channel member. Let's see. Toy Town, Senor Bub with the boom, 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 with the music. ADXR 920. What's up, fam? Good to see you, man. Who else we got? We got Tech Money. Salute. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you. Hey, sorry, Barton Fink. Barton Fink. Great to see you. Another channel member. Who else we got? We got Agorizer. What's up, fam? Good to see you, man. Man, everyone's here tonight, man. I love it. I love it. Who else we got? I know I missed a bunch. Oh my God, Black Diamond Guns and Gear. You got to be kidding me, man. Black Diamond Guns and Gear. Actually, you should know this that I switched. I know typically I carry my 43X. Okay, we're talking 20 rounds in the mag, one in the pipe, then a 15 rounder on the side. Right. I've been carrying that for years. Okay. I just recently switched to a Glock 30S. All right. I'm a 9mm guy through and through. But I mean, look at these things. You could literally eat a bowl of soup out of that ish right there. Glock 30S. This one is the 13 rounder for the 21, but Glock 30S, 10+1, 45 ACP. Good God, you could fit a Sprite can in that mofo. Right now, this is in my 21, but yeah, the Glock 30S, man. If you bump into me off the humble, you may see it on me. I'm just saying. So if you know any good holster companies out there, Black Diamond Guns and Gear, I may need a new holster for the Glock 30S. I'm just saying. Although it is compatible with most 19 holsters. Just saying. Agorizer. Hey, we got Johnny Ba. What's up, Johnny Ba? We got another channel member. A whole bunch of channel members up in here. Good God. Too many choices. Another channel member. What's up, fam? Good to see you. Oh, hold on. My chat just refreshed, y'all. Tornadoes heading my way. Dang. Yeah, you're in Oklahoma, right? And that's like normal for you. That's kind of like scorpions in Arizona, right? Like if I saw a scorpion, I would like backflip off of my carpet. I would run, right? Scorpions with the little stinging thing. I don't do that, man. I do not do that. But out where you're at, like that ish is normal. For me, if a tornado is coming through my neighborhood, I'm tripping out. Okay. It's not normal. But that's Virginia. You're not supposed to get tornadoes in Virginia. In Oklahoma, I think that's like y'all's thing, right? Like, you're not in Kansas anymore. I don't know. Whatever. I hope everything is okay, Tim Hoppa. Let's see. Sorry, yo, I'm on one now. All right. So we got Bob, Jason Ewing. Hey, testing. 1, 2, 3. Darkness. Good to see you, man. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you. Tech Money. Hey, Snoring Rich. What's up, brother? I also enjoy long walks, lattes, and naps. Plenty of naps. John Rice. What's up, brother? Finger popping. Keep that finger popping. Another channel member, John Rice. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you. Wired Tight. What up, Wired Tight? Appreciate you joining. Another channel member. Shauna. There she is. Shauna member. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you. Dang, look at that. See, okay, all right. So Shauna and Jason and Kurt and all you guys, man, y'all are so helpful, so incredible. I'm grateful for all y'all. I'm not worthy of the support that you guys give me. Let's see. Too many choices. Shauna, Senor Bob. Ooh, I like it. Hey, come on, PLA, another channel member. What up, Z? Good to see you, brother. Man, I'm so far behind. Ron Bayer, another channel member. Good to see you, bro. Take Money, John Rice, Gabriel Z, John Rice. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through. Hey, there he is, Kurt 24. What up? Good to see you. Congrats on first. Just mixing it up. That's what's up. Martin Kaminsky, what's up, fam? Good to see you, man. Appreciate you joining. And Shana, Senor Bob. All right, I think we got everybody now for honorable mentions. We got Armitage, we got Silverback, we got G23, we got Paul Revere. And if you've never heard the Beastie Boys song Paul Revere, you are seriously tripping. Go take a listen after the stream, of course. We got Clint Eastwood. Good to see you, Clint Eastwood. I haven't seen you in a minute, man. Where you been at, bro? Good to see you. P38 Wilberto. Buenos noches, mi amigo. Great to see you. Hey, Angry Sarge, what's up, brother? Thank you for joining as well. Thank you for joining. Black Diamond Guns and Gear, guys. If you guys don't subscribe to Black Diamond Guns and Gear, I mean, their ish on YouTube and on Instagram is fire, pure fire. Jen Champ Jr., what's up, brother? Appreciate you joining. And Dude Knowledge, what up? What up? Good to see you, man. And of course, obviously, the Tactical Turkeys as well. If y'all don't know, if you don't know, then you got to know. You got to go figure it out by subscribing to the Tactical Turkeys, of course. Okay, G23, Armitage, making sure I didn't miss anybody. Paul Revere, G23, who now is unbanned, who was banned for life on Instagram, who's now unbanned. Hey, Seriously Podcast, what's up, brother? Thanks for joining. Anthony Smith, my man, 100 grand, what up? And I think that's as far as I'm. Hey, Double X, you know I got to shout you out, Double X. Good to see you, man. I think that's all I got because I don't want to lose everybody. Oh, and this guy, this freaking weirdo. I don't know what he's doing here, but I guess he can kick it for a little bit. Dude Knowledge, G23, Clint Eastwood, been a bit busy, but trying to rewatch everything. Hey, man, thanks, dude. Hey, Chris from the 740. What's up, bro? Appreciate you joining. Hi, Sarge, listening in the reloading room. Oh, hell yeah. Nice. I hope you're also cranking some rounds, fam. All right, nice. So DLD, I gave you a finger up. Okay, appreciate that. Just one finger. Any particular finger? Fanger? So a couple of my friends would always make fun of me because of the way I say finger, because I kind of say it like fang, like a vampire, like fangs, like fanger. But I don't know. Maybe some people say I'm from the South, but I'm not. I'm from Virginia, which is not South. Anyway, Chris from the 740 also has a channel, so check him out as well. And you may see some familiar faces on Chris from the 740's YouTube channel coming up pretty soon. But I'm not going to say anything else about that because I don't know if I'm allowed to. So I'll just close my mouth. And I think that's a Goonbeam, Goonbeam, Goonbeam. Go buy a Goonbeam. Go buy a Goonbeam. Get that fanger up. That fanger. Fanger. Yes, you got it. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I know. I run my mouth too much in the beginning, but look, the reason I do this is because all you guys to me are super important, each and every one of you, right? So I want to go through and say what's up, greet you guys, and just say thank you for coming and hanging out, because I'm probably gonna accidentally ignore chat for most of the stream. Okay, sorry, it just kind of happens. For those of you that maybe did not check this out on the last stream before I introduce my guest here, we were showing off some beautiful artwork by Frag Out Design. I can't have that fall. So check it out. Frag Out Design. Oh my God. The work that he did on this upper and lower, I mean, it's literally just zip tied together, but this thing is gorgeous. He literally hand draws all of the scrolling, everything he did, like with his hands. He drew that ish, and then he uploads it, and the laser, bam, puts it on the AR. It's pretty nuts, man. So go check out his stuff, and if you're interested, hit him up on Instagram. He'll pretty soon he's going to have his whole store completely all up and running. But if you hit him up like I did, you may find that he has something that he's willing to either do for you if you want a custom project, or just like something that he may have already done up, like mine. Look up what BDGG stands for. I mean, Black Diamond Guns and Gear, right? Or am I missing some incredibly dirty joke? It's not South, but it's Southern. Did I miss something? I may miss something. Let's see. Armitage and Champ. So, real question here. What's going on with the brace issue? We're basically smack in the middle of it, but we'll get to it. How about that? I think it's on Urban Dictionary. Oh God. Okay, I don't know if I want to do that. Maybe not on stream, but we'll see. But we'll look it up, and we'll not. I'm sorry, not that. we'll discuss where we're at with braces. But before we dive in balls deep tonight, I want to first start by introducing our guest. Now, I want you guys to help me with this, okay? So I have what is probably the dopest sticker that exists in all of Gunswag stickers, okay? Now this sticker right here, if I hold this up like that and all of you guys like the stream, what's going to happen after the stream, like if you go and you click the thumbs up, right? Then what's going to happen is YouTube will actually index this as a candidate for a thumbnail, right? So if all of you guys take a second, back out and like it, even if you already like the stream and you unlike it and like it again, it's gonna like nominate this moment as a potential candidate for a thumbnail. And I really want to do this because I would love to have this brief moment as a screenshot for a thumbnail. So like the stream, and I'll be able to put this thumbnail up, and you guys will see once it's posted, once the live stream posts to the channel. If you see this sticker up as the as the thumbnail, you'll know that you had a little bit to do with the thumbnail being posted. Now, who does this sticker belong to? Oh, thank you, Rusty. Oh, dude, you guys are awesome. Now, who does this sticker belong to? This sticker belongs to a person that has been in the firearms community for a little while, and he's going to introduce himself and discuss, like, exactly where he works and what he does. And let's go ahead and bring him on. You may have seen him as FloodMunitions. This evening, you're going to get a chance to get to know Mr. Floodman a little bit better. So, introducing Mr. Floodman of FloodMunitions.
What up, brother? That's
But,
quite the introduction. Thank you.
oh yeah, man, it's just
Not sure if I deserve that much of an introduction, but I'll take it.
bro, how can I not show off like that? Like that is like one of the dopest stickers. I remember when so we actually met at SHOT Show,
Yep.
and when you gave this to me, I was like, bro, like whose is this? Is this yours? Like it's just such a dope sticker, man. And it reminds me of like the kind of vibe I get from it. It reminds me of one of our people tell him to talk about his wonderful hair. That's Midwest Savage. Hell yeah, appreciate that.
Yep.
Let's hear him say finger. Would you oblige and say the word finger?
Oh, me? You want me to say it?
Yeah,
Fanger.
finger.
Fanger. It's a little bit different out here in Utah, I'll tell you what.
A little different out here. I'll tell you what. God damn it, Bobby. But for everyone that may or may not know, let everyone know who you are, what you do, and where they can find you. All that good stuff.
Yeah. So, my full name's Evan Floodman. Just get it all out there. I'm not afraid to, show that real side of me.
Ballsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other side is Flood Munitions, my alias or my YouTube and Instagram. Started that a little over a year ago, and been rolling with it, and it's been a hell of a ride. But yeah, man, you guys can find me on Instagram, YouTube. I'm a little bit on Twitter. I even a little bit on TikTok, but they don't like me there. So just
Yeah,
just post to as many places as I possibly can.
they don't like a lot of people that think like us. They don't
Yeah,
enjoy them on TikTok.
that freedom minded. Yeah, they ain't down with that.
Spitting
Yeah,
brass
I saw the
is
hat man. Yeah, so I got a ton of hats, right? Uh, so
yeah,
working retail, you just accumulate hats. You cannot get away from it. They are literally thrown at you, and you just take them. So
it's
a lot of
true.
them don't even
It's
fit
true.
me. I just collect the hats at this point.
So are you just like a Mad Hatter, or do you? I mean, I see
I
you
need one of
wear a
those
hat,
Mad Hatters. I need one of those like foot tall hats. That's what I honestly really
top
need.
the top hats.
Yeah, yeah, keep
It
something
is
up in
true.
there.
I used to work at a shop, and like the amount of like aim point hats and like just the kind of swag. Like actually
Yep.
down here, um, let me
Yeah, I was just
see.
given a TridgeCon hat today, so I mean, it's just they just keep coming.
Oh, nice, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
For there may be a couple people in chat that like this. I'd like to show off this very special hat that I got at SHOT Show. I don't know if you guys know this, but I don't wear hats. Dark doesn't do hats, but I also, I can't just get. What am I going to do? Get rid of them?
That's why you got
So
that nice hair, man.
I know, right? I got to keep it flowing. This is a Shield Arms hat, which is very important to me because Shield Arms is, the reason I can carry 21 rounds in my 43X. So
Yeah.
hey, I'll rock that all day. I just sorry, Shield Arms, I don't rock hats like that. But so sorry, so
No, I like the
getting
shield arms.
oh yeah, they're great,
Yeah,
man.
that's
They're
good
great.
stuff. And Spit and Brass, I'll send you a sticker, man. Just hit me up on Instagram. I'm
So
down to
getting
send out
back
some
to
stickers.
you, what was your like entrance into the 2A world as people call it, like into the gun world, firearms industry?
Yeah. Um, so I guess I could start back towards the beginning. Like, grew up in NorCal, so the family wasn't really like I didn't really know anything about firearms. Moved out to Utah way back, I'd say like early 2000s, and started hanging out with some redneck boys, and they started taking me out to the desert and shooting, going bunny blasting, heading out, just shooting some clays, whatever we could find, and funny story. So I got a kayak, went river kayaking, just about died, traded it for a shotgun, and got that shotgun just like it was the Norinco trench gun, the 1897.
Oh, that's
And
dope.
so I still have it, and that's like my first gun that really got me into. So almost dying in a kayak accident got me into guns.
So hold on. So what happened where you almost died? So
Uh,
I will say though, make it good because a lot of people have talked about times where they've almost died on this
yeah.
show. So
All right. So this was, oh man, I'd say like 2008, 2009, something. I was flowing down one of the rivers. It was like right during the runoff, so the river was really high. Came up to a spot where there's kind of like an island in the river. One side had a big fallen tree on one side, the other side was clear, so I went for the clear side, got wedged between the island and this giant like bush in the middle of the river, and it flipped me. And look, I was wearing like a helmet and a spray skirt, life vest. I didn't want to die.
damn.
And it flipped me, and I got pinned up on the so like my head pinned up against the riverbed, and all the water was pushing on the kayak, and I was
Oh,
just like struggling, not really knowing how to get out. Instincts kicked in, did the spray skirt pull and roll, like roll and tumble out of the kayak, and then was able to get onto that little island. And yeah, man, crossed the log, got my buddy to help me get the kayak back, and it was quite the endeavor. I still go out and kayak and stuff. It's a good time. I like being out in the water, but the river,
what?
dude, it's gnarly. It's not for the faint of heart, so I don't really do that anymore. But
Dude, that's pretty effing terrifying.
yeah, it
That
was. Rivers are unforgiving, man. They are not your friend when it comes to like the runoff. So
yeah,
ain't no
yeah,
joke.
that's some pretty intimidating ish. What so how long do you think you were under for? Like if you had to ballpark.
Oh man, it all happened so quick. Maybe like 10, 15 seconds before I realized that I needed to get the hell out of there. It was just crazy because all the water was pushing up on the kayak,
Yeah.
and that was just like pinned up on my head on the river bottom. So
Mm, dang. Yeah,
yeah, it was
that's
wild.
whoo, yeah. Water like there's just something special, like a special kind of fear of being in a place that you can't breathe. It's
Yeah.
like that's a whole nother thing.
Oh yeah, man.
Almost drowning is pretty terrifying. So glad
Right.
you made it through and
Yeah, me too.
survived all the way to getting a shotgun. So
Yeah,
hell
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Still got to keep that trench gun, man. That's a fun one.
Oh
So
yeah, that's a
it's not the
keeper.
Winchester, but Norinco did a pretty decent job with it. So got that slam fire feature.
Yeah,
So
bro.
gotta love those.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yep.
So from there, once you got the shotgun, like what
Mhm.
was what was
It was all
next?
downhill. No, so I started really getting into AKs. So like my first
Dude,
AK
okay,
was at
I'm
a
sorry. I'm so sorry. Hang on. I was literally about to make a joke of, well, Norinco made this. I looked them
right.
up and I found they also made AKs, right? So
Yep.
naturally that was your next purchase, right?
So I'm still working on a underfoot or like a spiker. I know someone with a spiker, so I'm working on that one right now. But yeah, dude. So gun show out in Kansas City. I was working out there. Got a underfolder, and then my favorite AK that I still have that I've got. Oh my gosh, it was probably like 12, 15 years ago. Is the Arsenal SGL 31. So that's
Oh,
the
yes.
74.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one like really helped me dive into that AK world. Started stocking up on 7 and 6 and just went crazy with it. So,
Nice.
um, but yeah, and then I work at like a big box retailer and working in the hunting department. And I manage that department. And then Yeah, man, I just after I started working in the industry, it sort of was like I I got all these people coming to the counter who were like, "Yeah, what? I don't know anything about guns. Like, what do I do? Who do I talk to?" And I hated going to gun shops and like you get those guys who are just, "I'm the best. I'm going to sell you what I think you need. Here, buy this and get out of
Yeah.
my store." Yeah. Attitude. And I hated seeing that. Hated being treated like that. So I really was very adamant about working at that gun counter and being approachable and having people come to me and like being that person that they can like open up to and be like, I don't know anything about this. And it's like, that's cool. Like, let's get you started. Right.
Yeah.
And seeing a lot of that is what kind of provoked me to start more like social media stuff and being more open about what I do, what I like to do, and go out and shoot guns. And there's a lot more to it than a gun, right? I think it's like a
Yeah.
beautiful piece of art, work of art, and I really like photography. I don't have any like fancy cameras or anything, but I really enjoy getting out there and doing photos and videography and just having a good time with it, man.
Dude, your Instagram is fire. You got a lot of
Thank you.
great pictures, videos. Like you can tell that you're, putting like thought into what you do, and you also do
Appreciate
like,
that.
yeah, man, for sure. And you also do like off-roading stuff, right? So
Yep.
I remember one video you did where like you grabbed, I think it was maybe a SIG or FN, and you loaded it up, racked around the chamber, press check,
Yeah.
holstered it, jumped on your bike
Yeah,
and
my
just
little scooter. Yep. I got the
yeah,
little mini bike for my property up here. That's a good one. It was a
the
SIG.
it was a SIG? Okay. The
Yeah.
only thing though is it, like, bothered me for just for a moment was I
Yeah.
was like, "He didn't top off the mag. He didn't put that
Uh,
one extra round in the
uh
mag," you know? But that wouldn't have
I
made
had
a
to get
cool
going,
video.
man. I was on my scoot.
Yeah, right? You
But yeah,
it
you're
would not
absolutely
have
right.
made a cool video if it's like, "Okay, hold on, put the shit under my
Top out, yeah.
armpit," top off, it definitely wouldn't have been as cool, so
That's funny. I didn't even think about that.
yeah, and for everyone out there, if you haven't yet, go to Instagram for people that are not banned for life, which apparently a lot of my viewers are already
Really?
banned from Instagram. But
Banned for life? You can't even like open up a new account?
it's kind of a
That's
joke.
weird.
It's one of my guys was banned for life, but he got unbanned, which is
Okay.
good. Guys, you can also just like go like log off a Wi-Fi and with
Yeah.
a private browser, like set up a new one without your phone number. There's a bunch of ways you can
There's
do it, guys.
ways.
Yeah, yeah. If you really want to get into it, do maybe a VPN or something like that. But anyway, if you haven't, go check out Flood Munitions on Instagram. It's
Thank you.
entertaining shit.
I
Um,
appreciate that, man. Trying.
yeah, man, hell yeah. Hey, Glitter
Yeah, it's
Fart, good to see you, man. Ting Ting. Yeah, crazy names in here.
I
Crazy
know, I
names.
love it, dude. I love it.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
coming up with a good name, that's the hardest part.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like
dude.
I spent quite a while like, what should I call this channel? Like I want it to be like catchy and easy to spell out, but and it took me quite a while.
So what did you like? What brought you to Flood Munitions?
Um I want to say it was something just seeing the word munitions around, like
Hmm.
ammo cans, and I'm all about stockpiling that ammo and munitions.
Yep,
And
yep.
it's kind of like a broad term, right? Like munitions could be, you know, um, ammo, or it could be like stockpiling, weapons and firearms, munitions, and
Could
then
be
obviously the last name.
explosives.
Right, it could be just about anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. For the first while, dude, it was like, man, this is so cheesy. It's not going to catch on, and I'm sure people probably still think the same thing. But I just roll with it, and I dig it. I've always liked my last name, Floodman, so I went with something that kind of rolled off the tongue with the Floodman. So
It's
that's
dope.
good.
It's dope.
Thank you,
I
man.
I
I
like
appreciate
it.
it.
Yeah, man, for sure. And it kind of drives like a little bit of curiosity, like, that's kind of why I wanted to ask, right? Like, what is it like, what like where did the inspiration come from? So and it's just for clarity, G23, thank you. DLD, I didn't get unbanned. I created a 40th email account and slid in the back door. Okay, all right. So
That's the
that
way to
works.
do it.
Yeah, so you're still banned for life, but they just don't know it's you yet. So that's good.
Hell
So
yeah.
what kind of guns are you into mostly?
So definitely love my AKs. I've got quite a few ARs, and I mean, I'm more so into like the long guns. I love shotguns. Got like
Nice.
a couple mag feds, M4, a couple like I guess marsh guns, but yeah, I love 12 gauge, man. And I don't know. I guess you could say I love it all, right? But I think my
Yeah.
core goes down to the AK.
So hold
So
on. So marsh gun. So
yeah, like
define a marsh gun.
waterfowl.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, like a waterfowl gun, right? Like 28-inch barrel. You got like the camo wrap on it, 3.5-inch shells. Um, I don't do much waterfowl at all, but I want to, and so like I was like, I'm buying a bunch of shotguns. I might as well get a waterfowl gun. It might help me actually get into it. I've got a couple buddies that do it, so I'm just keep bugging them. But the problem is that they wake up really early, and I can't do that. So they're out in the marsh at like 5 in the morning. I'm like, how in the hell are you boys getting up that early? So I
Yeah,
just
and
gotta,
to already be there prepared to hunt, like, at
right.
5, I don't know, I'd have to pull an all-nighter
Yeah,
for
no,
that.
for sure. I feel
When
the same
with
way.
the last hunt that I went out on was a, coyote hunt, and we just went, super late at night,
Yeah.
and, that was cool. I actually did not take anything. Well, I didn't take a coyote that night, but, it was on private property, so we don't need to talk anymore about that. But it was cool, man. Doing, it was a Scar 17S with a thermal, and doing that shit at night is, like, next level shit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean, even if you're not getting anything, it's still fun getting out there, man. Just hanging
yeah,
with the buddies and going through the whole process, and it's like it's always got to be really early in the morning or late in the evening. It's not like midday type of thing.
yep, yep. So shotguns, of course, AKs. Now you
Yep.
mentioned Arsenal. What's like your go-to AK?
Oh boy.
It's hard to pick
Uh,
one, I know.
yeah. So I right now I'm all about my IWI Galil Ace, and that's in 545.
Really?
That thing, yeah, it's a heavy beast, but dude, she just keeps on running. Got the Meprolite Foresight, the magnifier on it, and as a beast. So that's probably like my go-to. It's always hard to say, like, when people are like, "What's your go-to rifle?" and like, SHIT or whatever shit it's fan type thing, and and so I'm always like, man, 545 probably wouldn't be the best option for that because it's like, where the hell are you gonna pick up 7 and 6 spare ammo along the road?
That's
Not
the
gonna
tough
happen.
thing. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, the, armory concept is like, all right, what are the, most widely used through, law enforcement, military, civilian, what are the most widely used calibers and magazines? And, typically it's gonna be the standard Stenag 5.56 AR mag,
Yep.
and, I'd say second to that would probably be, 7.62 by 39 AK
Yeah.
mag.
Yep.
And then for pistols, it would likely be the 9 millimeter Glock magazine. And I don't know, what would you say would be the second, like, handgun magazine and caliber? What do you think?
Second handgun, I mean,
Maybe SIG?
I'd like to say, are you saying just like in general for like the public, like what you're gonna find pick up?
Yeah, yeah, just like the kinda
Gotcha.
like how,
Yeah, probably
AR and
SIG.
AK. You think
Right.
SIGs? Yeah,
Yeah, Glocks and SIGs. You'll see a lot of those. Depends on
yeah.
your the demographic, right? You might find a lot of 1911s in some areas.
Somebody said, "I just Googled FloodMunitions, nothing.
Oh
Fed?"
man.
No, I
You
assure
never
you,
know.
well, I know for real, like, that's where the whole, glowy thing came from. Everyone's a Fed, but everyone
Right.
on the internet's a Fed. But,
For
no, I
sure.
assure you, if you go to Instagram, you will see he indeed has, an account.
That's funny. I've never actually Googled it before.
Yeah, I didn't get into Googling myself until I actually had the business, DLD Hardware. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, like, now I actually need to see kinda where, like, I'm ranking and shit like that." You know? Kind of,
Right, right, yeah.
important. Oh, look at this. Kurt dropped, your link in there. Hell yeah. Thank you, Kurt. Appreciate that.
Nice. Thank you, Kurt. Appreciate it. Oh man, I come right up. There I am. Instagram.
Oh,
That's
see?
funny.
Come on, Eagle
Yeah.
Run. Hey, Fluffy Bunny, what's up, brother? Good to see you. CNT
I saw
Designs.
someone in
He's the
there asking if I'd ever shot a 40, and yes. So I've got a Sig 229 with a conversion barrel that has a 40, and then I've got a Glock G24 long slide 40.
Oh, wow. And
Yeah,
and do you, like, just keep them in your collection to, like, curse at them every now and then or,
yeah.
like,
I
kinda
shoot them a
yell?
little bit. It's funny that that Sig 229, it's got a 9 barrel and a 40 barrel, and I shoot the 40 better out of it than the do 9.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Interesting.
It's just a little bit more accurate with it.
Yeah. And look, it's all like, I always poke fun because the whole 40 versus 9 mil thing,
Yeah.
but, look, I would never wanna take a 40 cal round, my shit, I don't wanna take a 22 short, you know?
No, I don't want to take anything, man. Not even BB
Yeah.
gun.
Yeah, for real. Hey, Prepper Book Club, good to see you. Thank you for joining,
Nice.
and he's following you too. Hell yeah. Let's see who
Yeah,
else.
Midwest
40 for
Savage. Got to give
everyone.
that guy a shout out.
Midwest Savage. Hell yeah. Appreciate you
Yeah, he's
joining.
AK buddy.
Nice. So I love AKs, right? My first like nice AK. Well, so let me back up a little bit. So my first like venture into AKs at all was when I was 18 years old. I literally was within a couple months of being like fresh 18, and I watched a documentary. This is when I was young and impressionable, right? And it was actually a documentary on Tupac. It's called Thug Angel. Okay, and he's in the shooting range. This is in Cali, by the way, right? And this dude has an SKS. He's got a Mac 10 45 ACP and just a whole bunch of guns, right?
Yeah,
And he goes through and he's just like blasting and just shooting. And it's just like, whoa. But then he actually stops and he talks about the importance of self preservation and, you know, it just kind of like gave a different perspective to me at that point, right? Like, even though like my family and other people, like, I guess they respected firearms, they never really put it to me like in that way.
right.
And and he was like, yeah, it also levels the playing field when it comes to, um people that usually wear like boots and vests and things like that. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. So needless to say, I ran out to the local gun shop, and I bought a Wasser 1063. And that was
Nice.
like my first, and at that point they were like sub 400 bucks.
Yeah.
The
Oh
one like
man.
I had no idea what to look for, canted front sight, bent dust cover. I mean, it was like, it was a Wasser. And dude, I still loved it though. Like the
Yeah.
feeling, the I mean, as an 18-year-old, like shouldering an AK and feeling that, that recoil and just the carbon and the smell, and it was like, okay, like this is awesome. Now
Yeah.
back
It's like
then,
driving a stick shift.
yeah, the
Yeah.
control is just like totally different.
Yep.
And I got into it. Then I got a Draco Champion, which I don't even think they make anymore. It's a Draco in 5.56.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
it was also like $319,
Dude,
you
killing
know?
me.
And but at that time, like, I didn't like it, ended up selling it, and I got a regular Draco, which is the same Draco for everyone out there that knows about the hard chrome Draco that I got. That's the same Draco. But then I bought an Arsenal milled receiver SLR 95, and
Nice.
oh my god,
So
like,
smooth.
dude, the smoothest, like the feeling, the accuracy, the sights, the just racking it was just like, dude, this is some next level shit.
Yeah.
So, is that how you felt when you first got your hands on the Arsenal?
Oh yeah, dude, that SGL 31 and it just felt so different being 545. Like not many people knew about it back then. I mean, you can get 1,080 round tin 7 and 6 can for like 140 bucks, which was even
Oh,
more expensive than it used to be. It used to be a lot cheaper, but yeah,
yeah.
1,080 rounds for 140 bucks is
Yeah.
insane. But yeah, man, those arsenals they're built very well. There's a lot of other brands out there these days you can get a little bit more affordable that are just as smooth, but I
Yep.
mean, Arsenal's got a good name behind them. They say the only thing that they don't is their finish. It's like the finish they're doing on them just wears off quick, but that's just whatever. It's
Yeah.
an AK. It's supposed to look dirty.
Yeah, yeah, it does. I agree. And,
Yeah.
It's kinda cool. It's almost like a rite of passage, like, when your arsenal finish starts to, like, wear away, when your
Mhm.
receiver and your dust cover finally match, it's like, "Okay,
Yeah.
alright, I've I've put some work into this one." Come Out in PLA nailed it. He said, "AKs are like camping sex. Feels great, but you're gonna get dirty and have a couple bruises." It's so true. Because
That's
like
so great, dude. I love that.
Come On PLA is a very intelligent and, funny guy. I
Yeah, so I think he's local here in Utah. I've never met him, but he's gonna be at Utah, so that's the big event. I think I was telling you a little bit about it.
Nice.
So it's May 20th, so next week, and I'm helping run the event, dude. It's gonna be off the hook. So we've got a bunch of big names in the industry showing up. It's just down in a place called Springville, but it's like like Utah's largest live fire family friendly event. We've got a bunch of belt feds coming in. We've got a 20 millimeter like bolt action rifle.
Dang,
We've got M134 belt fed minigun. And then there's gonna be a night shoot. It's like there's a section for kids, like a silenced bay. Um, there's just vendors, food trucks. Like it's gonna be wild. So yeah, if you guys are in
dang.
Utah, come out to Utah. It's
Dude,
gonna
that's
be great.
awesome. I so
Yeah.
so what is it a particular company's event, or is it just kind of
Yeah,
like
so Utah Shooters, so their page on Instagram. So go give them a follow if you are in Utah or anywhere and you want to, stay up to date on what's going on in Utah. But so Utah Shooters are at Utah Shooters, and they've kind of it's their baby, right? Like they started running this event. Oh man, I want to say like 5 or 6 years ago, maybe even more. And they have just been pushing it hard. They're very active in the 2A industry,
Mhm.
especially here in Utah. Like they go to Capitol Hill and they're fighting for our rights. And this Utah event, it kind of incorporates like all of Utah's local manufacturers. We have a lot of suppressor manufacturers out here. Like this guy, Gun Butter, super cool dude, Gun Oil, and he's going to be there. A couple other brands that I work with and hang out with, use all their
Nice.
products. So just really excited. So last year I volunteered at it and just tried to work as hard as I could, and they saw the passion that I had for it. So this year they hired me on to help them run it. So I'm really excited. So yeah, come on
Hell
out,
yeah.
Utah. Yeah, if you
That's
guys want
awesome.
tickets, just Google Utah, comes right up. So
Hell yeah.
pretty stoked
Now
for it.
you had mentioned that you work for a big box store, but there's
Yep.
also something else you're kinda doing too. Are you
Yes,
going
sir.
You wanna talk about that, and are you
Yeah,
going
yeah.
in that capacity, or
Yeah, so it's called Peace of Mind Guns. So this guy, super down to earth, started this shop about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago now, and he'd been like running it himself and just like balls to the wall, trying to get out as many guns as he could. Finally brought on a little bit of help, and so I've been helping him out just part time as much as I possibly can. But I really believe in what he's doing, and so he is an exclusive dealer for some like high end firearms. So if you like Q, you like the 8.6, 300 blackout type of platforms, any type of Q rifles or SBRs, he can definitely hook you up with Noveskis, LMTs, B&T, all the high-end suppressor manufacturers, Genesis, the Gen 12 shotgun. So we're
mm,
carrying like all of the high-end guns. So if you guys have ever like, you know, tried to get your hands on one of them, check out Peace of Mind Guns. But I'm really excited. I'm just like stoked that he brought me on. I actually met him down at Red October. I was wearing a Utah Shooters like little bag, like for
oh, yeah.
Utah, and he's like, "Oh, dude, you're from Utah." I'm like, "Yeah," and then we just like hit it off from there, and yeah,
Nice.
I could not be more grateful that he's like taking me on and just trying to promote it. I really want to see like someone like yourself, like someone who's in the 2A industry and they're trying to make it. I want to see these guys make it. I want to see them get past the algorithms, get past the politics, and just like run a business that's helping the Second Amendment and helping people get into the Second Amendment. And again, going back to like how I felt at the gun counter, bringing the people who are like unsure, right? Like they don't want to go buy a gun because they're afraid how they're going to be treated at a gun counter, or they don't want to
Yeah.
come to your shop or your like website because they're afraid of how they might be treated or might be seen. I want to get rid of all that. I want them to see that there's so much more to firearm ownership, being a part of the Second Amendment, being adamant about just you know self protection, your rights. It's your God given right. It's your You have that right? Like, I don't
Yeah,
even know what to
yeah.
say. I guess I'm just getting lost in my words on that, but yeah,
No,
man,
hell
I'm
yeah,
very
man.
passionate
That's
about it, and sometimes I have trouble like finding the right words to describe how I feel about it, but man, it's
well, I
it
mean,
goes to my
it's
core.
no, I mean, you nailed it. It's something that um, a lot of people refer to it when we, are having these kinds of conversations, and they talk about their Second Amendment rights or their First Amendment rights, and they kind of have it like backwards, right? They speak of it as if the Constitution grants them something, and most people don't look at it as like, no, these are already your rights, like, they're
Yeah.
your birthrights,
Yep.
right? They're guaranteed to you as, from birth as a man, man like mankind. So,
Yeah.
the ladies out there, like, bear with me. Ting Ting and, whoever else may be out there. But Ting Ting, you don't get mad at stuff like that. You're cool. You're one of the fellas.
It's the other side that gets mad at that shit, which is ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's like,
I
come
know,
on,
right?
man. It's like,
Yeah, but, it's your natural right for simply existing, right?
yeah,
And then they're guaranteed to you, and the Constitution is a restriction on government, right? There, as John Crump would say, it's a document of negative liberties, right? They're things that they cannot be taken from you, which always, kinda goes back to, the conversation of, like, you know, well, felons can't have guns and whatever name whatever kind of class of people here. It's like, well, how? Why? You know what I mean? Like that. And I know that's a spicy topic in itself,
yeah,
but like for me
yeah,
personally, you know, how could we ever call it a natural right if we're treating it as a privilege to
right.
others? You know what I mean? So I think you know we do need to kind of get out there and share more about this and talk about you know everything that we can to kind of educate others
Right.
and it does start at the gun shop. It starts at the counter. I remember
Yep.
people would come in all the time and I would see guys that I was working with that were like, oh no, bro, you need this. Like, is this your first time here? Like, don't you know? Oh, you're gonna be way better. You need this. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, just ask them questions, right? Guide
Yep.
them to something, make recommendations, and leave it up to them.
Exactly. Exactly.
Is that kinda like, how do you go about it? Like,
Yeah,
do you
so
kinda
I
leave it
kinda
up
let
to
them,
them?
like, just kinda rolling through it, I let them approach the counter, and they'll typically walk to a section in which they have already, like, I know what Glocks are, so they're gonna start looking at Glocks, which is fine. I'll show them whatever they wanna look at, and then I'll, start asking them questions like, "Hey, like, what is it you're looking to do with this firearm? Or you want self-protection? You wanna go to the range? You want, like, carry gun?" Sort of ask them the questions, trying not to pry, and being respectful. And a lot of them want, like, just they want that privacy. They
Mhm.
find it odd when it's like a counter full of people. Like, I mean, there's times where we'll sell like 60, 70 guns in a day, and it's just
Dang.
packed. Um, and so it's nice when I can like pull them aside and be like, "Hey, like, tell me more about like what it is you're looking for. I want to be the person that sells you this gun. I want to make sure that you get into the right gun." And if they don't feel comfortable, like, I'll send them to our range. Be like, "Go try and shoot a few of these guns. Take one of the the range staff out there with you, and they'll sort of help you figure out which gun's right for you. Come on back and then buy the one that you like the most."
Dude, that is a huge benefit. The shops that I'd worked at in the past did not have a range. So a lot of these guys would actually so let's say they had somebody come in and they're like, "Yeah, here's the Glock, here's the Sig, here's the." I mean, at the time, honestly, we were selling mostly because it was kind of a different era. It was pre 365s, it was pre Hellcats, it was
Yeah,
pre, back then it was like you had Glock 26, Glock 19, and then you had, uh, Kimber
the
ultra
Kimber
size
Micros, and
1911s.
yeah,
It was actually probably yeah, it was before the micros came out, so you had, like,
okay,
Kel-Tec PF9s,
yep,
J-frame, 5-shot J-frames, like, those were kind of the ones, like, that were, you know, carry guns, and I mean, a lot of people carry, like, full-size guns, but, it was limited, so they would send dudes off, like, "Well, you should go shoot it first, so go to this other gun shop and shoot it, and then come back when you're done to buy it, and they would
Sure.
never come back
No,
because
definitely not.
they're going to a shop that has a range. I'm like, man,
Right. Well, and so like so the place that I work, we have it's not attached to our building. It's like it's I don't know, like 5-10 minutes away, but it's the same company. And so we have a range
okay,
at a different spot in which we sell guns there too. And if that means I'm losing a sale, but it means that they're getting the gun that they want, then I'm fine with
hmm
it, right? Like as long as
yeah,
that person's happy and they can be like, hey, you know what, this guy Evan at this other shop recommended me to come over here, and I'm really stoked that I was able to shoot the gun first, and I feel a lot more comfortable owning that firearm now. So it's just really good to see that, and it's rewarding. You know, it really
yeah,
is. I mean, that's like my favorite part of the job. Now that I now that I manage the department, though, I do a lot of emails and a lot of the back office stuff. So it's not as fun, but it's just
yeah,
part of
yeah. But that's
part
cool
of it.
though. That's you focusing on like, what's the purpose that you're purchasing it, and can what you've done research on fill that role, and what are your other options? I mean, I think that's huge when you're helping somebody that is kind of walking into a new industry, right? And like
Yeah,
I just saw the other day, IV88, Eric, I think it was maybe Eric and Chad both, but
yeah.
they dropped a video like, what's the first handgun you should purchase or whatever. And like there's still so many people out there that are just like literally just getting into our industry, right? And you kind of still being in it. I'm not really in like the industry as far as like, firearm purchases go. Have you seen a lot of like new people coming in over the past few years, or more
There's
so
a
than
lot
usual?
more during like the COVID stuff. There was a ton of new buyers coming in. There
Mhm.
are still. I mean, we get them all the time, but I would say not as many. Um,
Mhm.
I mean, on average, I'd say like 30% of our sales maybe are like new buyers or people coming in with their friends who are like, hey, it's time you get a gun, or family or whatever. And they're like, let's take you to the gun shop and start testing them out, which is good to see. You know, it's like the friends and family are promoting that these people need to get into firearm ownership. The worst part is
Oh,
when they're just like, the husband and wife come in and the husband's like, you need this pink revolver that shoots 38 special, and then they buy it and they never go out and take it or take a
yeah.
shooting. That's the worst. I hate seeing that. So I really want to. I don't want to like say, hey, husband, you're wrong, but I also want to
Yeah.
like add my 2 cents. Be like, well, this option might be a little bit better for you. So
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
good. It's good being part of it, man. So I enjoy it.
I
So what
do.
what was your first gun then? Talking about that,
My
first
first
handgun, I should
gun.
say.
So my first gun, I bought before I turned 21, but I came back on my 21st birthday to do paperwork on it.
Okay.
Man, I really had to think about that for a second. I was like, damn, what was my first handgun? Um, so I was looking for and I think it was kinda inspired by, like, because I was a kid still, right? I was inspired by, like, the Punisher and, like, all these
Yeah.
kinda things, like, where 1911s were, like, so dope, like, 1911s were, like, the gun.
Yeah.
Glocks were cool, but Glocks are everywhere. Everyone's Glocks look the same. This was before Gucci Glocks and shit, so,
Right.
I found a Springfield and Detective John Kimball, don't say shit, because he said I would recommend everyone buy XDs. I've never owned an XD in my life, and this is the only Springfield I've ever owned, guys. Okay, so
I
don't
mean, they're
give me
not
shit.
terrible. There's worse out there.
Yeah, yeah, they're not terrible. They're just not,
Yeah,
not the
I hear
best.
you. Right.
And it would be best if we supported companies that supported gun owners and gun
Yeah.
builders and
Yep.
that kind of thing, and privacy and freedom and independence and all that stuff. But anyway, so as a kid, I'm 20 years old at the time. I'm looking at all the different guns, and of course, everyone's like, "Well, Glock 19, Glock 19, Glock 19," And, oh, and I remember I was like, "Yeah, but Glocks are, like, boring," but they're like, "But check this out, Glock 19 with an OD green frame." I'm like, "Alright, let's look at something
Oh,
else," you
it's not
know?
blue.
Yeah, I know, it's not even blue, like, I don't want that shit. But, it's funny because, like, I mean, God, I guess it feels like it was not that long ago, but good God, I mean, we're talking, a decade and a half ago, right? Like, at that point, like shiny chrome guns with pearl grips were like still cool in my mind, you know,
They
like
are still cool, bro.
they are, as long as it's not the only gun you got, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I've got a Cobra, or no, it's Cobra Derringer. It's got the pearl grips and it's shiny chrome and it's a break action 22 Magnum.
I saw.
So,
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the other, the 410
oh, dude, those
single
are
shots.
sick. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I've got they're two. They're Cobra. The other one was Cobra, but the little
Oh,
Cobra was like
yeah.
a SLC manufacturer for a while. Went out of
Hmm.
business. But Cobra, most people are familiar with Cobra with like the Uzi platform or the Street Sweeper. And so I've got two of those little break action 410s. One's a side by side 410 that I got from my buddy. The other one's a over under 410 22 that I got from Pappas. And that thing they're so sick, dude. I love
Dude,
them.
those used to be like $79.
Oh yeah,
And
so
now
cheap.
I think they're like just a little bit more difficult to come by now.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
what are they going for nowadays?
I mean, both of mine I kind of got from like buddies, but from what I've seen, you're looking around like 3 to 500 depending on the condition and the model.
Damn,
Yeah.
I should have bought. I just like transfer fees are always like, it's a transfer fee, it's more paperwork, but
Right.
um, so okay, sorry, just to go back real quick. So, when I was looking through the gun shop looking for my first handgun, I had told them like, "Hey, let me buy this and pay for this, and then come back on my birthday and do paperwork for it, right?" And they
Interesting.
knew me because
Okay.
like, yeah, it was the local gun shop. It also ended up being the gun shop that I worked for later on in life. But
Nice.
also, I was the guy that would go in there and be like, "Hey, can I get this Glock 19 holster for my dad? Uh, can I get this shoulder
Yeah.
holster for my brother? Can I
Right.
get this?" You know, so by then they already knew me. They're like, "Oh, that's just dark," you know. So they're like, "How many brothers and dads do you got, dude? Jesus." Um, anyway, so the um, the gun that I ended up going with was a Springfield mil spec 1911, and it
Okay.
was the Parkerized finish
Yeah.
with a comp on it with stainless controls, stainless trigger, stainless hammer, stainless beaver tail
Yep.
safety, stainless mag well, and it had just like black grips on it, which actually now looking back was really cool. But I had one of the guys at the shop take these Ajax pearl grips and Dremel a slot for the safety for the ambi safety to go, and they put them on for me. So when I was
That's rad.
21, I came back and I bought it. Now I
You still
started
have
to
it.
carry it. I don't. And there's
Ah.
there's a reason why, I promise.
All
So
right.
I started to carry this monster of a handgun. I mean, this thing is huge, right? I was carrying it uh um uh IWB appendix, Jesus, sorry. Appendix IWB with a 10 round Wilson mag in it, right? And it's like poking me. It's
Uh-huh.
like
A big
sagging down
gun,
my
dude.
pants. Dude, it's
Yeah.
huge. And I didn't have a gun belt, right? I wasn't wearing a gun belt. I was wearing a
Right.
shitty holster, like one of those flappy Galco holsters that, like, when you draw it just goes and closes up on you, you know?
Yep.
And of course I was like, "Oh, it's the gun. It's not me. It's the gun." So I ended up selling the gun and I bought a Glock 26.
Okay.
So
But the
that
Springfield 1911s aren't terrible. I mean, most of those are US
yeah,
made, so they're not
yeah, they're
bad.
good. Yeah, I
Or the
honestly enjoy as a
1911 for your first
shooter.
gun. That's pretty good, man. I like it.
Yeah,
Mine
it's
was
I
a 92 FS for a
oh,
handgun.
nice,
Yeah.
nice. Was it just
Still
like
got it.
the standard 92 FS? Like,
Yeah, yeah, pretty
yeah,
standard. Nothing special about it. And
nice.
I still got it and ended up doing like a Wilson Combat upgrade to it and Silencer trigger because dude, I put so many rounds downrange on that thing. It quit
Yeah.
shooting. So I had to give it a little upgrade.
I was actually gonna ask if you had looked into triggers to do the Wilson Combat springs and all
Yep.
that, dude. It's a game changer.
Oh
You
yeah.
you, you know what handgun like totally changed my perspective. You may have heard me talk about it on the show before. All of my kit, like everything in my kit was Glock,
Yeah.
right? And I could switch like whatever I had 19X or my 19 or 17 or whatever until I bought the Beretta M9A3.
Yeah, that's a sick
Holy
platform.
dude. I'm like it obviously it shoots way better than I can, right? But holy shit, like the M9A3 is like game changing. I mean, I could shoot well with a Glock, but dude, with that Beretta, even with like just a standard 92 FS or, an M9 whatever, that that's cool. But the M9A3, man, oh
Yeah,
my god, it's incredible. So
it's
I
sleek, man.
highly
You got that
recommend it.
single action, and I mean, that slide is super lightweight with everything they've done to them. So, did you put an optic on
Yeah.
yours?
I did not.
Oh,
The M9A4s you can put an optic on. The M9A3
oh, okay,
do not
gotcha,
have the plate. Yeah, yeah.
gotcha.
I consider going with the M9A4, but I just bought a bunch of the M9A4 magazines because it's 18 plus 1
Yep.
and rock the I mean I still got a bunch of the 17 plus 1 M9A3 mags, but it's for a gun so heavy, right? Like I got like 20 of the old M9 or 92 FS mags for a gun that big and that heavy. 15 plus 1 just is not cutting it.
No,
But
definitely
being
not.
able to throw 17 or 18 round mags in there, it helps a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to think. So you got that M9A4 mag. So those are 18.
Yeah.
Those will work in just about any two, like 92 series, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's
Yep.
compatible, cross compatible with almost all Berettas, at least that I've, been able to mess around with, excluding
Yeah.
the 92S, which is the lower grip magazine release,
Gotcha. Okay.
which you can still find those for like three something
Yep.
around. I mean, it's a good deal. They're just not drop safe, so be careful.
Yeah, you got to be wary of those. I've got a old revolver with like the firing pin attached to the hammer.
Yeah.
Dude, you drop something like that, you got to watch out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, not
That
too
shit'll
safe.
yeah, that could blow a nutsack off like
Yeah.
like that. It's why you see most people, like, back in the day, they would, so I have a, 1851 Colt Navy revolver that
Nice.
my great 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 hold on, my great great grandfather
Count them
passed
out.
down
Use
to
your
me. Yeah, I
fingers.
was, like, trying to, like, think, um, he actually carried and used it in the Civil War,
What?
and
That's
yeah.
wild.
Yeah,
So is it cap and
confirmed by
ball?
Colt, cap and ball, 36 cal.
Dude, that's
Yep,
sick.
it's literally sitting right over there in the little stand.
You got to get it in
Um,
like a glass case and like lock that shit down.
so Colt actually will, like, for 50 bucks, they'll give you, like, a whole printout of, like, proof of ownership and, like,
Okay.
proof of, like, what do you call it? Like, of it being fielded,
Yeah.
yeah, all
Off.
that
Off.
shit.
I can't. Can't think of the word.
Authenticity,
Yes. Thank you.
yeah, yeah,
off.
that.
Off something.
But they'll yeah. But they'll actually, like, be able to tell you, like, yes, this was, issued in whatever general area, but there was a factory fire at some point, I think in the early 1900s, so they had to, like, take decades of, like, re like, um I guess fixing and filling in the holes in their records.
Yeah.
But one day I'll put something nice together for it. And mechanically, it's still totally sound, man.
That's awesome.
It's
Yeah, I like the
still
cap and ball. I shoot quite a bit of black powder guns, so it's a good time, man.
oh, do you?
Yeah, yeah, I've got a couple like the Colt and Army replicas, and got an old Browning 54 cal rifle. Things like the barrel's like 40 inches long. It's wild.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
those
fun,
things are
dude.
crazy, man.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah. So
actually
I
take
got
them out to
into
hunt?
no, not hunt. It's just hobby. It's really fun. Like when you got someone who's new to like guns, and you take them out, you start them out like a 22, and then you pull out the cap and ball. It just blows their
Yeah,
mind. You're like, here, let me load this up for you. And you got the primer and the powder and the wad and the ball and the lead
yeah,
rings and like they're just like, what are you doing? I'm like, ah, just hold on, you'll love this. So
yeah,
then it blows out all the smoke. Like, yeah, they're
yeah,
super fun. So I started getting into those like last summer, and then that's when I think I was telling you I was on that Mountain Man Ultimate Marksman, so that History Channel thing. So that's what like
oh, that's right.
yeah, so that and then my buddy, his Instagram page is the Orion Foundation, and like he's kind of the reason I got onto that show as well, because we started doing like black powder stuff. He noticed me, and then like a casting company found me, and yeah, so I got to be in. A lot of people, I don't know, like the whole History Channel thing and like guns being on national TV again was like I guess the last time it'd been on like Top Shot, right? So Top
Yeah.
Shot after Top Shot, it sort of like tapered off, and they stopped putting pretty much anything like that on national TV. So the Ultimate Marksman Challenge, they called it Mountain Man Ultimate Marksman Challenge. So it was based off of the Mountain Man TV series, and so we started shooting like old, historical style guns, and the whole cap and ball thing kind of came into play with that. So I was pretty stoked to be a part of it. It was cool to see, firearms back on national TV, and
Yeah.
could not have been happier about being a part of that. And that was like really because I started the whole Flood Munitions thing. That's how they found me. It was wild though, dude. Like they reached out to me, and I thought like the whole time I'm like, this has got to be a scam or a joke. Like there's no way these people are about to put me on TV. Like I'm a face for radio type thing, you know. So,
Dude,
but yeah,
that's
what
that's incredible.
happened? Yeah, yeah, it was a lot of
I, I
fun.
I forgot to mention that, man. I'm glad you brought
Oh no,
that
you're
up
good.
because I
No, the whole cat ball thing kind of reminded me. So
yeah, no, that's awesome, dude. It'd be hard for me to believe too, like getting a message like that. It's like, I don't know, is this a Saudi prince and he wants to
yeah,
give me how much money, like but that's cool as shit. Like, typically when you see firearms in some way, right, that everything can be used as propaganda, right? So when you see firearms back on, national TV on a scale like that, like remember Doomsday Preppers?
yeah, oh, yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Like, I almost feel like they did that to intentionally make people living in living a life of preparedness and
yeah,
self-sustainability to make them look as foolish as possible, right? They would
yeah, man.
pick these people that were like, "I believe an EMP is gonna take out our," or
They made him
like
crazy, and they purposely. I feel like they purposely made him look crazy, and
yeah,
like that was one thing I had a little bit more respect for, like the producer of this, the Ultimate Marksman, because they really made it look like this is where firearms began. It was sort of like based off of like trapping and like the classical mountain man living up in the mountains and doing fur trapping and then using his firearm. His firearm was like his go-to. You don't go anywhere without it, right? And so
yeah,
they really based the show around that, and I think it was a really good way to approach the public about firearms and what they're capable of. And the cool thing was it wasn't just firearms, right? So there was like an archery and then knife and hatchet throw, and I was just part of the firearm portion of it. um,
nice.
Dude, it was crazy, like the whole behind the scenes of reality TV show pretty much like blew my mind. It was really cool though, meeting all those people, getting to experience what it's like, and yeah, could
Yeah,
not be
dude.
more happy about that situation. So it's
So
fun.
when were you doing the filming and shit like that?
It was late summer, but it didn't air till November, so I had to keep it on like the DL. I couldn't tell anybody. Like I told my family, but that was about it. It was a hard secret to keep, and then finally when it aired, I was able to, tell everybody about it. So,
Dude,
um,
hell yeah.
yeah, so I think the best part about it though, man, was just the people I met, like the three other competitors. So
Mhm.
let's see, so the Orion Foundation, and then oh my gosh, I'm forgetting their names. Danya Vizzy, who's like a shotgun shooter, and then um, just Mr. Gibson. I don't know if I want to like tell them their full
Yeah,
name, but
no, that's
but
good.
my buddy, the Orion Foundation, made me these. I wanted to show you guys. It's a little like just a fake little, keychain, but he built this whole like beat it up. Dude, this thing is wild. Sent him down this, and then he sent me. This is one of the casings that we shot in the last competition, and I was like so appreciative of it. So if you guys have ever seen the Orion Foundation on Instagram, go check him out. He's doing some really cool stuff. It's a very like woodsy, outdoor kind of channel, I guess. I mean, yeah, you got to check him out.
Dude,
He's
that's
good.
sick, man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
No, sorry,
What
go ahead.
casing was that?
45 Colt.
Nice.
Yeah, so we were shooting a lot of that, and then a lot of what was it, 44, and I think it was mainly just 45 Colt, 44.
Nice, man. That's
Yeah.
sick, dude.
But yeah, the
That's
people I
something.
met, man, it's like all about the people, right? These
Yeah,
people
for
you're meeting.
sure. Hell yeah. That's cool shit, man. That's
Yeah, dude.
I definitely want to check out one of the reruns that you were on. How many episodes were you on?
It's just one, so I was on season 1, episode 2.
Season 1, episode 2. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out, man. That's cool as
yeah.
hell.
I don't even know where you can find it. A
I,
History Channel somewhere.
I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
Yeah, like
Nowadays with
I don't have
everything
TV, so. I don't even know where to look for it.
Yeah, I don't the only thing I use my TVs for is to cast stuff from my phone on. I get
Yep.
nowadays, like, none of us have, like, cable or house
Right.
phones or,
It's
it's I
crazy.
probably sounded like a FUD through this whole episode because 'cause I'm like, "Back in my day, we had 5-shot J-frames
Bought a
and"
1911 for my first gun.
Yeah, right? Jesus. But I will add, though, so that was my first handgun, but my first 2 long guns was the Wasser 1063 and a
Yeah.
Remington 870, but it was the Remington 870 from Terminator 2, the one with the, overfolding stock that says "For law enforcement only"
Yeah, yeah,
on it.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Boy, that thing was a beast, man.
So it's had the pistol grip and the
Yep,
oh,
yep.
okay. Those are
So
cool.
that stock is a retro stock, and John Crump, I see your thing. I'll get to it in a second. Which we're gonna have a little debate over that. But the stock actually has the pistol grip connected to it, and then it's like an overfolding
Yeah,
design, which it was made for a shell holder, and in the
right.
movie, she had she had a shell holder on it, but it's weird. There's like holes that are running over the underside of the stock, which is where your
Yep.
cheek weld would go when you shoulder it. But I guess they're the perfect size for a 12 gauge round to like sit in, but there needs to be something else on there. I don't know. I never found it out, but if anyone else out there knows how in the hell you put extra like spare rounds on there, please let me know. But dude, that shotgun was a beast, man. But the length of pull on that stock is like
Yeah.
this, like it's crazy.
It's pretty, yeah. Yeah, I had one of those folding stocks on a 500 for a while, Mossberg.
Nice.
Ended up getting rid of that, but yeah, those are cool. It's
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the shell holder I had on that thing, but it was years ago, so I can't recollect.
So I have a whole new outlook on shell holders, which we'll come back to in just a quick sec. So John Crump Live, thank you for your $2 super chat. He says Dark stole my bike. First
Hell,
off,
Dark.
it wasn't your bike; it was your son's bike. Okay, and I'll return it at some point. I was running to the store and I had no further desire to run. So, I picked up the bike. It was I didn't even know it was your house. I'm just kidding. No, he's totally making all this up. I have no idea and I live like almost an hour away from him. So, I promise I didn't steal your bike. If someone stole your bike, you're barking up the wrong tree. But
So
um
John Crump was how like I actually found all you guys. I found John Crump through 2A EDU. And when I found
okay.
2A EDU, I started watching him a bunch. And then I saw like John Crump was part of it. And so I started checking out his channel and then found CRS. And then that's why I also found, yeah, nice. Found
That's my
DLD.
guy.
And yeah, I remember meeting you at SHOT Show. You came up to the Talking Lead booth at Keltec, and
Yeah.
you're like, "Hey, you guys were trying to get a photo of you.
Of
I think you had
Chris.
Flying Rich, I Print Shit, and there was someone else with you. I don't recollect who it was, but yeah, you're
I
like,
think
and
it
I was
was
like, "Here, let
just
me take the
Christian.
photo for you." And you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, okay." I took the photo, and I see your tag. I'm like, "Oh, DLD After Dark." I'm like, "What the hell?"
Yeah,
That was
I
crazy,
so
dude.
there was only a few, or not I'm sorry, Chad, with Keltec. Chad.
Yeah, yeah,
Dude,
Chad. Yeah,
Chad, pure Chad, by the
yeah,
way. He's
yeah.
awesome.
Mega Chad. He's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, good
Could
dude.
not be like a better name selection. I mean, dude is total Giga Chad.
Yep.
But so there was only a handful of times during all the shot show where I was walking around where somebody was like, "Yo, you're Dark from DLD After Dark." I was like, "What?"
Nice.
And you were one of them, right?
Hell yeah.
Another one, it was kind of funny. I was just talking to somebody about look, no one's gonna like run up to me and be like, "Oh my God, you're Dark," right? And I was FaceTiming with my daughter, and my
Nice.
wife and I are going through a separation and shit, and like she hates the YouTube thing. She hates anything about it. We
Yeah.
had somebody come up to me in public and be like, "You're Dark." I was like, "No, Dark. Like I'm not Dark." And it's just anything that has to do with YouTube, she hates that shit, right?
Yeah.
So as I'm talking with my daughter, I'm pulling up to the shot show convention, right? And I get out of the Uber, and the moment my foot hits the sidewalk, somebody's like, "Oh my God, you're Dark from DLD After Dark," and I see her just roll her eyes and go, "Ugh." And I was like, I gotta go. Daddy loves you. Bye. It was just like too beautiful. It was like an orchestra,
Yeah,
you know.
perfect. Couldn't have been
But
better.
you were one of them too. And I was
Oh
like, oh
yeah,
my God, someone recognized me. That made me feel so special. So
yeah, dude.
I'm
It
glad we
does feel
bumped into
good.
each other.
Little morale boost there for you.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. That's
Yeah,
a person that I admire very much said that this has a direct line to my self-esteem. So thank you. I
yeah.
appreciate that.
It's important sometimes, man. It really is. You get down on yourself, and you gotta have a little morale boost.
Right, right.
Yep.
So
Hell yeah.
yeah, it was dope. But which brings me to another topic. So talking lead. So tell me
Yeah.
about that.
So Lefty with Talking Lead. So I found him. For work I drive 1 hour one way. So I drive like 2 hours a day every day, and so I listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of gun podcasts, and I found Talking Lead, and so he's like one of my favorite for podcasts right now. Him and the Gun Experiment. I love those guys as well. Um, so yeah, and I originally got on his show because he had a contest. You submit pictures of your AK because he had like a thing going on with Century Arms. So submit pictures of your AK, win an AK, and then he had like Clayco 47, a bunch of other big AK guys judge him, and I got like third, which was awesome. And
Nice.
so he had a bunch of people on the show, and it was like right before that Ultimate Marksman TV show aired. So I didn't
Mhm.
mention anything about it on the show, but he started following me right after I was on the show. We talked about AKs all day or all night, I should say, and uh, and then my show aired, and he was like, "Dude, what the hell? You were just on my podcast. You didn't mention anything about this TV show you're on the History Channel." I'm like, "Yeah, dude. I
Yeah.
like signed a bunch of NDAs, so I couldn't talk about it." But
Mhm.
yeah, so he had me back on, and then at the end of the show, when he had me and a couple of the competitors on, and I was like, "Hey, dude, like I'm trying to get to Shot Show. Like, you know anybody?" He's like, "Talk to me afterwards."
Yeah.
So yeah, Phil Leadhead. Yep. So after that, he was like, "Hey, I'll get you into Shot Show, but you gotta be like my photographer and like kind of be present." And so yeah, I
Mhm.
did that, and it was hard, dude. I just wanted to run around that whole place and like just see as much as I possibly could, get as much like swag as I could, and then also help out Lefty with the Talking Lead. And so, I'd take pictures, do some video stuff, and it was like super amateur. I just had my phone like this little tripod thing, and all these other people were coming up with like these giant camera setups, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like Lefty's like photographer. Here's my phone, like. But
Nice.
no, it all worked out, man. I did a bunch of his posts for him, and then he got me out to NRA, and I'm super thankful for that. I mean, really, like um, Talking Lead and Lefty, and a lot of other people as well, but they have like really um, kind of like believed in me and helped me, gave me that extra step up into the industry, along with like the Peace of Mind Guns guys, the Shootah guys, like these people, like Mike Pappas with Dead Air. They have all been like so kind and generous to me, and just getting me into the industry. I cannot be more thankful for people like that, and so I hope to
That's
someday,
awesome.
pay it forward and get someone else in that same type of situation to that point, to that level. And I mean, it's a growing experience, right? Like we're all growing
Yeah.
with it, and like if it's what you're really passionate about, you're gonna succeed, and that's what a lot of people have told me. One thing Mike Pappas told me that really stuck with me was Evan, you can go out and find a job where you can make a lot more money and be a little bit more comfortable in life, but it's not going to be what you're passionate about doing or what you
Yeah.
really love doing, and you're never really truly going to be happy. And that really stuck with me. And so I've just kind of like went off that, and uh, like all of everything kind of just came together. All these people,
Yeah.
you bringing me on your show, like I'm so
Yeah.
appreciative
Hell
of
yeah.
this type of stuff. So it's really cool to see the community come together, and
Yeah,
really
man.
support everybody. So I'm super thankful for that stuff.
Hell
So
yeah. It's awesome, dude. It's something that I feel like is kind of unique for our community. I'm It's not our entire community, I kind of feel
sure,
like there's
yeah, it's gonna be the
yeah.
oddballs, the outsiders.
Yeah. I really feel like there's something within like the gun building, gun printing, gun customization, like in this like segment of the gun world where like we're way more giving and caring and contribute to others and I don't know, it's it's kind of unique, and I love that about like this world. Now sometimes, I mean, of course, there's always going to be some dirtbags that what do you call it when they God, I'm drawing a blank on the word when they um
Like try and steal the scene or try and like
intro
take the limelight from you, or
no, like they intro
I have no
God,
idea what you're trying to
God,
say, or I'll
I
help
know,
you out,
I
man.
man, shit, I'm sorry, I'm totally drawing a
You
blank.
want to Google it?
Yeah, right. I'll just Google it real quick. Ask Uncle
I'm sure
Google.
AI could help you.
Yeah, for real. No, like, people kind of sneak in and like, they um no, fuck it. Oh well, I give up. Anyway,
Try and like float
um
off your fame, or try and just like I don't know,
no, people sneak into the gun building. So for an example,
introspective.
no,
Too many choices.
I have dark. That's because we truly care about freedom. See, and that's what it is. Like
Ask
we
Jeeves. Nice.
ask Jeeves.
That's
Oh my
classic. Here,
god.
let's hop on MySpace real quick and see what they're
Yeah,
saying.
right? Jesus. I will say though, I did recently rewatch all of Breaking Bad. That's why I got
Yeah,
the Los Pollos
it's a
Hermanos
good
shirt
show,
on.
man.
Dude, it's great, but I
Yeah.
had also watched Better Call Saul, right?
Okay.
And the chick found out that the guy who, was Saul, but he had got a new ID, changed his name, moved to Omaha, Nebraska. She found out who he was by using Ask Jeeves. So that was just perfect come out in PLA.
Is that
I
still
love it.
around? Ask Jeeves. Like you can actually
You
still
know
use it.
what? It may still be
It's probably ran
if
by
you
the
go to
feds.
it and it says like if there's an option to
No,
purchase
it's
that domain.
ask.com now.
Okay, that makes sense.
Jeeves is
Um
gone. He's out of the picture.
But no, I mean, like, so what I meant was like when people come into this world and they kind of step in, but they're really not like part. They may build guns, right? Or just as an example, but I got these people, this like small group of people. It is a small fraction when you're looking at like the whole kind of grand scheme of things, but these guys will come in and then they'll like come to my website, they'll go to DLD hardware and they'll buy a jig, right? And
Yeah,
then I'll send them the jig, I'll even like help them if they have questions and shit like that.
it's
And then they'll
awesome.
do a charge back and then they'll keep the product and get their money back and hit me with a fee. And they lie, they say they didn't get it, even though like I have pictures of them like with their shit
That's
in their lap and stuff. Like, it's like those people, like, guys, come on. Now I should, if I was truly being like, in um like the way that I always kind of say at the end of each stream, I'm like, be a good person, right?
yeah.
Like be kind,
Yep.
contribute to others, live a life of care, compassion, contribution. I should take that as me contributing to them, even though they're being dirtbags. But hey,
It's
here we
hard
are,
though, man. It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard to
And it
swallow.
sucks to see it, and you're always going to see it, no matter what you do for a living or where you are. Like, there's always going to be that person that's just like they're in it for themselves. They're not carrying any compassion. And I've always been like one to say, what's the phrase? Like, do unto others as you would want done unto you, or whatever, right? So like,
Yeah, yeah,
treat
yeah,
others as you would want to be treated, and I think that's like a really good way to live your life, because karma, like, I don't believe in much, but karma's a bitch, and it'll come right
for
back at
sure.
you. And those
Yeah,
people doing that to you, they ain't gonna go very far. That type of
yeah.
shit is just, it's frustrating to see. It sucks to hear about it, but in the end, like when you do good, you're gonna get that good right back at you,
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate that, man, for
man. Yeah.
sure. I just sometimes have to bitch about people like
Oh, for
that,
sure. Yeah, you gotta vent it, man. You can't be bottling that shit up.
Yeah, yeah. But dude, that's cool. I mean, so you've actually done a lot in the firearms world and firearms industry, and you've been on the History Channel. You've actually, brought your own social media like pretty goddamn far, and you have a
Trying.
knack for the shit, man. You do.
Thank you.
You're doing talking lead. Yeah, I'm sure you got some stuff you're planning for the future. Anything you
Oh
want to talk
yeah,
about there?
yeah. Nothing like really in particular. Like this whole Utah event that I'm helping run, I'm really excited about it. So like being able to say like, hey, I helped run this giant event. Like we're planning on over 2,000 attendees, a giant firing line. We've got like over 36 bays of machine guns. So being able to run an event like that, working with Peace of Mind Guns, working with Talking Lead, working with the Gun Experiment podcast as well. And these people have really helped me, like I was saying earlier, have really stepped up and believed in me, and helped me go further in the industry. And so I don't have any like hard set plans, but my goal is to eventually grow my own social media, so grow Flood Munitions, and hopefully start managing more social media accounts. Like it's funny, man. Like back in the day, a couple years back, I'd say like I know I was never down with social media,
Hmm.
but I really started seeing how important it is for firearm owners to be in that light. And I know it
Yep.
sounds ridiculous because like a lot of guys, like they'll buy their gun, they're upset that they have to do a 4473, they pay cash, they want to go back up into their small confined world and not let anybody know they own a firearm. It's great that they bought the gun, but they're not helping us at all. I mean, they may be voting the right way, right? But we
Yeah.
need to be active in like doing what you're doing, right? Getting up on YouTube, the platforms that hate firearms, and just keep
Hmm.
posting and keep making videos, because I think of it like this: like, imagine if every firearm owner actually started up a social media account and started posting up like, this is my new gun, check it out, I'm being safe with it, I'm going to the range, I'm learning, I'm using the right, uh, right hearing and eye protection, and doing the right thing. um,
Yeah.
if everybody started posting about that, eventually they'd have to get rid of those nasty algorithms that put us down, because everybody would be doing it, right? So like, and that's
Yeah.
obviously a pipe dream. That's not really something that's plausible, but I like to think of it in that manner. Like, hey, if we all started posting about that stuff and being more open about our firearm ownership, it'll become more of a normalized thing. And
For sure.
yeah, I just think it's kind of the way things need to go, in my opinion. I ain't always right,
Yeah.
but try
No,
try.
dude. I trust me. I 100% agree. And hey, Print Bunny, by the way, good to see you here. But it's it's interesting because I guess what I hear you saying is that like the firearm ownership needs to be normalized, right? Like
Yeah,
it's almost like this kind of taboo thing, right? And like every now and then, like I was at a store, at a big box store. I didn't want to be there, but I had to go there. And somebody saw a bracelet, and it says like it's got a little Spartan helmet. It says like for God, for just stuff
yeah,
like gun guy shit,
sure,
And this dude was like, "Yo, I see your bracelet. What's up?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." He's like, "You shooting and you into shooting and stuff?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Almost like it was kind of like, "Yo, you want some drugs?" You know what I mean? Like it was like that, like taboo. Like, bro, like we can just talk,
yeah,
And there's this kind of like mixed messaging of like, don't run around like with gun stickers all over your car and like
right,
wearing like gun shirts and like stuff like that because you don't want to be a victim, but carry a gun, concealed
yep,
because you don't want to be a victim and all. It's like, all right, there's got to be some give and take, right? So
yeah,
I actually, and I agree with you that putting it out there, putting ourselves out there, putting our face out there, like uh, whether it's videos, pictures, shooting, like whatever we can to kind of normalize firearm
right.
ownership and get it outside of our little small group.
Bubble. Yeah, there's lines
Yeah,
you gotta draw, man. It's like the cheesy Punisher skull, or like the 50 cal radio antenna, right? Like these things are
yeah,
cheesy, and like it's fun to tease those guys, but at the same time, like, hey, if they're willing to go out and buy a gun and they're willing to talk to people about it and they're willing to vote the right way, like we shouldn't talk down on them. Like I hate seeing that's like the thing I hate seeing the hatred within, which sounds funny, like
yeah.
oxymoron, right? But like I hate
I
seeing that
hate this
hatred.
stupid hatred.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I really do, man. I hate seeing like the people like negative comments, and just, I'll just deal with it. It is what it is. People are going to be like that. But a
yeah,
lot of the time that'll push the newcomers out and be like, I don't want to be a part of that community. It's just full of a bunch of haters. Like that sucks to see
yeah,
that shit. And I don't want to be that person. So I'm willing to listen and willing to accept, never to, I don't want to be the person to judge a book by the cover. And like, if they want
yeah,
to say, hey, Punisher skulls are cool, and I like my What's those stickers you see where it's like, "Don't mess with my family," and it's a bunch of guns, like super cheesy stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
okay, like if that's what they like, that's what they like. And if they're gonna put it on the back window of their car, like it's advertising, it's probably not the smartest thing to do. But
yeah.
uh, if it's trying to normalize, it's is what it is, I guess.
So it's kind of a funny thing. I live in an area that is not very surface level, not very firearm friendly, right? And it's still in the state of Virginia, so Virginia is still moderately based, right? But in
Yeah.
the area that I live in, it's more left leaning, right? So
Okay.
I went to the park the other day with my daughter, and my daughter, when she sees a dog, she'll, run up, she'll ask if she can pet the dog and,
Yeah.
put her hand out, whatever. And, I was there, and she ran over to the dog, and I was wearing a shirt that wasn't, like, very clearly a firearm shirt, but once you get closer, you're like, "Oh, that's it says the word 80% firearms on it," you know? And, and I started talking to these 2 ladies, and they were clearly look, I'm sorry, guys, usually I reserve judgment, but trust me, clearly, both of these chicks were, like, not of our thinking, right?
Yeah.
And at first, like, I came over, and my daughter was very polite, and she was like, "May I please pet your dogs?" And they said yes. And I came over, and I sat down and started talking, and I could see the moment that they realized what my shirt was.
Right.
But my daughter came over extremely well mannered. She was like, "Hello, may I please pet your dog? And what are their names?" And I came over and was also very kind to them. And and it's like, at that point, it's like, well, hold on. Like, that interaction, and I say it at the end of every show, right? Being kind to people,
Yep.
that interaction can totally change their perspective of
100%.
what a gun guy is,
Yeah, their
right?
persona of a gun guy is like, I don't know, just
I think an
the
EMP
meathead.
is gonna,
Yeah.
that
Come
it's
and take it and that type of shit, which is good. Like I
yeah,
like all of it, and I want to like be welcoming of all those people. But I think knowing your audience is a very important term. Like if you
yeah,
walk into a place where they're like not gun friendly, you're not going to open carry, and you're not going to be like, f you for not liking guns. You're going to be like, well, how come? Like how come you don't like guns? Like talk to them and be open to conversation. A lot of people aren't like that, and I think that turns a lot of people away. And so yeah, man, just
yeah.
being open and being kind, and being willing to show that the this community has a lot more to offer than just your typical, I guess, what the news portrays us as, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Because, anyone that has an AR-15, or I guess, now they're saying anyone with a silencer is a ninja assassin or whatever.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of which, I am very interested in dead air suppressors. I just want to go on record saying that. So,
Yeah,
if
buddy.
you,
So Dead Air, Huxworks is one of my favorites. I love those guys. Yeah, like, so that's the cool
nice,
thing about Utah, man. They're all local here. Like Dead Air, Silencer Co., Huxworks, JK's just up north. And we got a
nice.
bunch of big companies here. It's good
Yeah,
stuff.
I got a Gymtech multi-mount 9 millimeter actually right
Hell
here.
yeah. That's what's up.
I got
Moving
the
quiet.
yeah, super duper quiet. But this, I
Yeah.
mean, that thing's also old. I got that when I
Yeah,
was
the Gem Tech.
21. Yeah,
Nice.
and that's Idaho, right? Yeah, Boise, Idaho. Yep.
Yep.
And I also got the AAC SDN6 308 can, and that thing is a beast, man. Solid freaking metal, dude. It's a solid steel. It's just, it's a tank. But
So the AAC, that's like PSA stuff, right?
no, so AAC, this was like way before the AAC PSA
Okay,
stuff. This
gotcha.
was Advanced
Oh,
Armament
Otter Creek
Corporation.
Labs. Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, Advanced Armament
Service of thought.
Corporation. They check out the SDN6. It was one of the first cans that was designed in a way that they welded a baffle stack together, and then they welded a solid steel, and it's completely steel, right? And then they welded a solid steel tube around it. And I mean, it is completely solid. You can't, disassemble it. You can't break it apart. I've
Right.
probably got, I don't know, 12,000 rounds through it. Never. I mean, you're
Wow.
not really supposed to, clean cans anyway. Like, the dirtier they are, the quieter they are, and this thing is quiet. I'll
Yeah.
say that. I probably got about 10,000 rounds through that can too. So much so that the mount started to come apart. Like the piece that's like I had to rock set it back in there. Jim Tech, if you're here, don't listen to this because I don't want my warranty voided. But I'm like, the last thing I wanna do is send a freaking can out, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't wanna send my 2 both my cans need to be serviced, and I'm
Yeah.
just gonna shoot them till they die, and then I'll get a Dead Air or a Huxworks or something like
There you
that,
go.
so,
Yeah, I mean, there's so many out there these days. It's wild.
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot.
If you have any connections, that would be, dope. I'd love to chat with, some guys, at either of those, companies.
Yeah, for sure, man.
AAC Ammo got acquired or the whole company. So it's a different AAC, but I believe AAC Ammunition was in the whole Remington PSA thing. I don't know exactly. PSA wanted to do in-house ammo, so they just bought AAC. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, different company though. YHM, yeah, YHM made some good cans for a bit. I'll tell you what, man. A lot of people sleep on Gym Tech, but man, Gym Tech came out with some revolutionary shit. They came out with okay, so in some places where let's say they maybe didn't have they couldn't have a threaded barrel, but they could have NFA items, which there are some, rare states like that. What they did is they came up with a very unique mounting design which for 5.56 cans, they came out with the Sandman, which is the titanium, and, there was a steel and aluminum version too, but it was a 5.56 can, right? Where you are correct, Dark. Correct about what? Thank you, by the
Everything.
way. Uh, you're always correct. No, thank you,
Yes.
Crump. I appreciate you. Send another chat. Not you don't gotta send a super chat. I'm just saying send another chat down below. Let me know what I'm correct about. But they came out with this uh, method of attachment where you could you could unscrew the mount and it had like this almost like a think of a metal mount with like a bite taken out of it. You could slip it over a bird cage, right? And then just
Okay.
twist the can over it. So any AR with a bird cage, you could uh crank the suppressor down on. And this thing was like flying off the shelf, man. It was crazy how PSA got AAC. Okay, cool. Gotcha.
Oh,
Thank
gotcha.
you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, another podcast I listen to is AR-15 podcast. Those guys, bunch of cornbread boys. They're awesome. I met them at SHOT Show as well. But
Nice.
they had PSA on recently, and they were talking about all their ammo that they're making with AAC, and
Yep.
they very slightly mentioned some of the 7.62, like the steel case stuff that they're doing, the
And the
5.45
545.
FRR.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
buddy, I'm
Yeah.
excited for that because right now, dude, finding ammo ain't happening. So that
Yeah.
was cool to listen to those guys talk about it.
I had them on the show about a month ago.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
they
that's
actually
right.
came on 1 week before I got banned for almost all of April, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But
hard times, the
man,
dark
that
days.
Dark Days, yeah, for real. Like, what an incredible bunch of guys, though, man. That
Yep,
their company, like, it's exactly what we stand for. It's like
100%.
get as many arms in as many people's hands as possible. Achieve common use for everything, and whether it's ARs or daggers, like, man, they've just done an excellent job. What are your thoughts on most PSA products?
I love them, man. I've got a PSA AK-105, so another 5.45 gun,
Nice.
and I absolutely love what they're doing. I when I first started like the whole flood munitions thing, I heard a lot of talk like, "Oh, stay away from PSA, they're junk." And it's like, it's just, I mean, it's a firearm manufacturer that's making affordable stuff. They are continuously improving that product. They're coming out with new products. They're pushing the limits on things, and they are like what you said. They're getting firearms in the hands of a lot of people who might not be able to afford that high end,
Yeah.
a whole different type of market, and that's what I love about it. And I'm all about BSA. So
Yeah.
more power to them. I hope they keep trucking on with everything they're doing, and I definitely want to get to one of their range days here soon. cool to really meet the guys. And I know they were at NRA. Like when I went to one of the cigar lounges with Talking Lead, he's like, "Oh, that guy's with PSA." I was like, gonna get up and talk to him, but those couches in a cigar lounge, dude, you lounge back, and it's like
You just sink in
you
there.
can't get up, man. I'm like, all right, hey, what's up?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they're cool as hell, man, and
Yeah.
they it seems that they genuinely care about,
Yep.
our natural rights, which is cool as shit. I mean, like, man, what a hell of a thing to do. Because I mean, there was a time, and I know I kinda talked about this in the beginning, and here I'm gonna sound like a FUD again, but there was a time when, AKs were 3 to $400, maybe 4 to $500, depending on what you get, and ARs were 1,000, 1,500, right?
Yeah.
And then things just like, over
How the
time.
turns have tabled.
Yes, exactly. So
Well,
now it's like, now your AKs are, 1,000, 1,200, 1,500, depending on what you're getting, right? And I mean, shit, I got an arsenal in there, a Crink, an SBR that's 2 grand,
boy,
and
hell
yeah,
yeah.
I got actually we'll get to that in a second. But and now ARs could be had for sub $500. You're putting
Yep.
together, I mean, a, a nice, very usable, shootable
Oh yeah.
AR, and the whole Saber line, I don't know. I haven't gotten it. I've had it in my hands, but I haven't actually gotten like range time with the Saber line. So I'm curious to see how that does.
I'm not.
That's
So the Saberline is what PSA is doing.
so say the Saber line is like their mid-tier, high
Okay,
mid-tier
gotcha.
AR line. So that's like their you got your PSA stuff, which is like lower mid-tier, and then you have the Saber line, which is their mid-tier, higher mid-tier
Okay, so they're
stuff.
just putting like better barrels in it and better
Yeah,
bulkier groups and stuff.
yeah, exactly. Better
Nice.
barrels, better BCGs,
Yep,
better fit and finish, better, just kind of all around a bit of a better product.
for sure.
Yeah.
And it's good to have those options, really. You know,
Yeah.
some companies I've noticed working at that retail, it's you start out low and then you try and make something really good and you've like tainted your name. Like if High Point came out with like, a $1,500 gun, it's going to be real rough for them. I
Yeah.
love High Point. I'm all about those guys, but like it's tough to come out with something really nice after you've like been well known in the industry for making affordable stuff that works, right?
Yeah, and I saw that, like, when they came out with the 10 mil, and I was like, "Man, you know what?" I talked to High Point, and, I was messaging with them to see if I could get one on T&E to shoot one for the channel and all that, but, I just kept, losing touch with them, so I was
Yep.
like, "You know what? I'll just go buy one," and I saw that it was, like, 199. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna buy one, And look, I'm sorry. Like, look, it's cool, right? But instead, God, this is gonna sound so bad. Instead of getting a high point 10 mil, extra large yeet cannon, I went and picked up because I was dead set on getting a 10 mil with a threaded barrel. So I was like, I'm gonna go get the FN 510 with I mean that thing's a
Nice.
beast. Threaded
Yeah.
barrel, suppressor height sights, night sights. They got
Kickstand
this,
for a mag, dude. The thing's gnarly.
dude, 22 plus
Yeah,
1, like
it's
that shit
wild.
is nuts. And
Yeah.
even the bag it comes with was like, holy shit. But
Yeah. Good
I
stuff.
heard that, so the first thing I did was put a hollow sun on it, and I put a goon beam light, which is like the TLR on it.
Okay.
And I had heard, and if anyone out there has info on this, please let me know. I had heard that 10 mil and holosuns do not go together very well. And a lot of people were saying that, when they threw a holosun on a 10 millimeter, that it kind of killed it, which is interesting because holosuns used to come with a Picatinny mount, and you could just throw that bitch on an AR
Yep.
and run it. But I think it's probably a combination of like such high PSI on a pistol and the reciprocation of the slide
Right.
just doesn't do very well. Have you heard anything about that?
I mean, yes and no. Like, you definitely got to be aware of like the 10 mils kicking back real fast, and you've got a lot of mass moving, and to put a hollow sun on there that's not really rated for it, and hollow sun's probably going to come out and say, yeah, it'll work until it doesn't, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
that's when you just go and bite the bullet and get yourself like an RMR. So yeah, those Trijicons are
yeah.
those things are built like tanks. You're gonna spend money on it, but
Yeah.
I've heard some stories at the counter of people buying Trichicons like years and years ago and just putting them through everything that you can possibly imagine, and they just keep running. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's kind of like buy once, cry once type thing, you know?
Yeah. I mean, look, I got, I don't know, like 5 other red dots.
Yeah,
If I took the cost of 2 of those, I could put like an SRO on
yeah.
something, which I did hear from a very reliable source that the glass for the SROs are blown in Japan. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, so a lot of their glasses, I mean, dude, some of the best glass in the world comes from Japan.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, Japan and Austria, like those two, like it's hard to get any better glass. So like everything that Trichicon's making is like built in the U.S.,
Mhm.
but a lot of the glass does come from Japan, and not all of it, but like if you want high quality, good glass, it's either Japanese or Austrian. So like
Interesting.
Swarovski optics, yeah. Um, yeah, it's hard to get better glass. I mean, I don't know anybody in the States that's making like, 'cause I used to do a lot of glass stuff. I used to be like a glazer, and then obviously knowing optics for all these years. Um, I like glass. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's yeah, nice. There you go, John. It's where they blow all the good glass. No, it's true, man. I mean,
Yeah.
that's where the good stuff comes from. So sometimes you just
Yeah.
gotta outsource it.
I mean, honestly, so for, a 250 to $330 Holosun, 2 of those for like I just came across a brand new 2 MOA SRO for, did I say that right? So for the cost of like 2 Holosuns, which are
Yeah,
like, depending on what you get,
right, right.
250 to 320, I found an SRO for like 528 or something like that for a 2
It's pretty good,
MOA.
man.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually surprised because another local shop was selling it for like 700. I was like,
Oh,
"Fuck
yeah,
that."
that's like MSRP.
Yeah, dude. I
Yeah,
was
so
like,
you can get them around like 550 to 600, but I've got two SROs, one on an AK and one on a VP9L, and I absolutely love it. I did like the Jaegerworks shroud on them, but hey, those
"Nice."
things are built like tanks, man. I mean, Trichicon ain't messing around. Like
Yeah,
I've got Holosuns, I've got Meprolites, EOTechs. You know, I like all of them. I like to try and like try them all out and see what I like best.
yeah.
But for like the reliability and what I know is going to work. So for like my EDC, I carry a SIG 365 XL, and then it's got the SIG Romeo optic on it. And like
How
the
do you like
first one I
that?
had, it's so I love the SIG. Their optics, like the lower line, is definitely not the best. I got like the shroud on it, and it hasn't failed me yet, but I've
Yeah,
definitely highly considered like replacing it with something like even just the Hollow Sun. What is it, the 507K or
yeah.
the RMRCC? I mean, those would be a lot better options. But I've been running that SIG Romeo for 2.5 years now, and I've replaced the battery once. It's held up nicely. Carry it every day, man. I mean, it works for me, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it's you just gotta test them out, see what works best for you, what's in your
yeah.
budget, you know.
I kinda jumped into the red dot game at, Swamp Fox level and,
Nice. I like Smallpox. So.
yeah, Swamp Fox has been good to me. I will say I think it may have been a lemon or an issue, like, with the, um, inner workings of it, but it was on a P80 that I built, and I know you recently built a P80 as well.
Yeah.
Well,
Have a good night, Mike McClune.
night, Mike. Good to see you,
I
brother.
see that dude all over the place.
Oh yeah, man. These people are like straight up like committed. They're
Yeah,
bouncing all over. They'll stay in here for hours, man. You guys are incredible. Love y'all.
yeah, for sure.
Um, Swamp Fox will be at Shootaw as well.
Nice. I actually didn't know that. I
Hell yeah,
probably should have known that, but
nice.
think you come out and play.
So the first red dot that I like ever had, because I was anti red dots. It's like, why am I gonna put $500 on my slide when I built this for sub 500? You know what I mean? Like I was
Yeah,
just anti red dots, and then I actually took one to the range, like with the red dot, and I was like just nailing shots like wherever I put the dot. I was like, okay, all right, this is stupid not to. So at this point, I ended up getting the Swamp Fox Justice with the steel shroud around it,
yeah, yeah.
got it Cerakoted and all that. It was awesome, and one day I'm running it on a P80 that I built, which has been 100%, flawless, and I'm just shooting, boom, 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 pull the trigger, boom, it's like, and it just totally floats off to the right. And
Oh, what?
I call them and they're like that. I've heard like of that happening just a few times, like literally 2 or 3 times. Send it in, we'll fix it, send it back to you. I just still, like a year and a half later, have not sent it in. So, sorry, Swamp
Really?
Fox. But I
Mhm.
got several, so 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe like 4 Hollow Suns, and I got the Glock 48 as well, and I threw the, SIG, Romeo, I think 0, the cheaper, red dot. I think I
Yeah.
got it for like 89 bucks.
Yeah,
It
that's what I've got on my SIG.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
so
the room
it's
is zero.
made for the 365, but
Yep.
it also has the shroud, but the shroud would not fit on the Glock 48 MOS. So naturally, I
Interesting.
took a hand drill to it,
Yeah, I was gonna
and
say Dremel that shit, dog.
yeah, I made the holes where the holes needed to go,
Yeah,
and,
that's right.
now it runs on it, but, man, I'll be honest, like, it's a polymer red dot with a polymer lens,
Right.
so, I'll probably, I think it's a polymer lens, right?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and, you can't beat the price, but, for,
Right.
performance, yeah, I think 407K, 507K would probably be the cheapest I would go, but yeah, man, Trigicons, man, they don't play. I really want the AccuPoint, the Trigicon
Yeah,
AccuPoint scope.
that thing's sick. They make
Actually,
some good stuff.
someone asked about an LPVO. Let me get your opinion on this. What was it? Fluffy Bunny Arsenal says, "Flood, any recommendations on an LPVO around 500 bucks?"
So I do like the SIGs. I think is it the Tangos? So they're making some pretty good LPVOs. The cool thing about it is that they come with that mount, that cantilever mount. So then you're
Mm,
right around that 500 buck range. And they've stepped it up. But I have heard like they're pretty much being made the same way the Holosuns, are even in the same factory as Holosun.
yeah.
So if you're wanting something a little bit different, I mean, Leupold, Vortex are always good options. I was messing with some of the Trigis today with their LPVOs, and you're looking at a higher price point than five. But
Yeah.
it really depends on what you're putting it on, what you want to do. Is if it's like your duty rifle that you plan on running to the hills with, try and save up a little bit more. Something that you know is going to last. I mean, I've run a couple of Vortex LPVOs, and I like them. I haven't had any issues with them. I'm still kind of saving up. I really like the EOTech. Those things are sexy,
Yeah.
also expensive. So yeah, I
Have
mean
you
around the
seen
500. Sorry,
have
go
you
ahead.
seen the EOTechs that they give you the U notch, but when you crank down on the magnification, they give you
Yep,
the ACSS reticle?
it's so
Ooh,
wild.
yeah, that
That's some
thing's
cool
sick.
stuff. Yeah, Primary Optics makes something really nice too as well for the LPVO, but you're looking at like 1400 for that thing, so they ain't messing around. But yeah, for the
Prime
500, I really like the SIG. They actually do a pretty decent job with it. They got a good warranty on them. But like one thing I've really been learning in this industry is like you see these companies with these like, yeah, anytime we'll replace it, we got this great warranty. Um, that's just something that's like it's almost like they know there's going to be a fail point, right? Like
yeah,
these guys who just offer like your typical limited lifetime warranty, but they're building the products like tanks. Like those are the ones you want to go for.
yeah.
That's definitely what I've learned. I mean, not to harp on warranty stuff, but it's like that's a big thing for where I work. People are coming in. It's like I want this covered by a warranty.
Dude, it's so I see it all the time with like when I was in the industry, and people would come in and be like, I want to buy a Taurus Tracker 357. Be like, all right, well,
Yeah.
did you want to shop around and a little bit and compare? No, this thing, the warranty on that, you can't beat it.
Right.
I'm like, if that's your like primary selling point, then you may want to reconsider. Like, I have never had to use a warranty on a Glock, but
Yeah.
they
Exactly.
warranty the shit out of them. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
it
it's like that movie Tommy Boy where he's selling the brake pads, and
yeah,
they one of the guys they stop at, and he's like, "It doesn't have it on the box. I want the guarantee on the box."
yeah,
And Tommy Boy's like, "Well, it doesn't need it on the box when it's such a great product." Like, and that like seems silly, but resonates with me. It's like, yeah, man,
very true.
like it's such a great product, you don't need the guarantee or the warranty because you know it's just gonna work. no matter what. So,
It just makes me think of, I could get a good look at a T-bone, stick my head up the butcher's ass, and then he's like, "Oh, I mean, the bull's ass,
uh,
but I'll take the butcher's word for it." He's like, "It's a great product."
yeah,
Yeah, dude, that's an awesome movie. Yeah, but
oh
very good point though, like
yeah,
the warranty, shouldn't be the selling point, but, Primary Arms is coming out with some really great shit. I mean, even like for the red dot guys out there or guys that are red dot hesitant, right? That don't want to go spend 350, 500 bucks on a red dot. Dude, Primary Arms has the RS10 SLX for 199 on their
yeah,
website. And that thing, I got that on my strike that I showed you earlier. That shit is excellent. I've had no problems with it at all. It's
yeah.
it's a hell of a red dot and
That's another
primary
good.
arms.
I mean, Primary Arms has some more affordable LPVOs. I've got one on an AK, and I've got
Mhm.
one on a that Smith and Wesson bolt-up shotgun. Not a LPVO, but a red dot. I just can't remember some of their names, dude. Like the optic companies, they come out with all these crazy names. I mean, almost any manufacturer out there, there's so much to remember. I'm just like, yeah,
Yeah,
that one model, that's the one you want.
yeah, the black one. I think it was black or
Yeah,
FDE.
it's got these little
I,
switches and dials on it.
dude, I'll tell you what. I was at a local gun shop and they had this crazy ass SIG bolt gun out, and naturally they had a crazy ass SIG optic on it. It was glass, right?
Yeah.
And it was like a 1.5 to like I don't know, 16 or something like that.
Oh, that's wild.
And dude, it was like two stacks. It was like 2 grand. So
Yeah.
I don't know
Was it
what, but it
the
was
Sig
like
Cross?
possibly
Was it
it
bolt
was
action?
it may have been the oh no, I'm saying the glass was like 2 grand.
Oh,
But
okay, gotcha.
yeah, I don't know if it was like their premium product. Maybe it was, or maybe the gun shop was just way overcharging.
Yeah,
But I looked through that shit, dude. It was just as crystal clear as any other optic that I've run, any other glass that I like. Even I was mentioning the Trijicon AccuPoint, man.
right.
That thing, like, I know they've come out with many other things after the AccuPoint, but the reason why I'm so fond of it is because, like, I originally wanted to get a SCAR 17S with the Trijicon AccuPoint that's a 1.5 to 10x on it, right? And because you can run it at 1.5x with both eyes open and
Yep.
just like, nail targets with it all day. But if you need to reach out to 10, I think 10x or 12x, whatever it was, like it's perfect, but it's,
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
grand for it. But primary arms for sub 500 bucks, you could for sure get something.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
know like a lot of the SIG optics, it's like they have the two lineups. It's just like Vortex, Leupold. Like they've got like their Chinese made, and then they've got their American made or Japanese made, and SIG's doing the same thing. And so back to like the Japanese glass, a lot of the higher end SIG optics, most of that's coming out of Japan. So it's kind of interesting. Like it's like knives, man. You get like some of the best knives out there, like Seki City, Japan. Like
Hmm.
Spyderco's coming out with some amazing stuff out of there, and they
Yeah.
know what they're doing when it comes to it. I see you've been flicking around that. What knife is that you got? So I've got
Oh
my
yeah, I got a few.
Boker.
Oh, nice, Boker.
Yeah,
So the one I'm carrying currently, now I'm breaking my own rule. Usually I don't only carry an auto because I like to have a knife that, just is a little bit more durable, tough. But this is the Tac Knives, their TK Pro line. This is the Nighthawk V2,
okay.
and it's got kind of a knockoff Microtech double
Yeah.
edge blade.
What kind of
And
steel?
this is 154 cm.
Nice. That's what this Boker is.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And dude, the action is super crisp on it. The other one I was flicking around is actually, they call it's the Tac Knives Fat Boy.
Yeah,
It's
dude,
the
those I've seen that on your channel quite a few times. That's a really cool idea. Very utilitarian.
Yeah, it is definitely like a just a blade you can just use the dog shit out of and not feel bad about it.
Right.
And for everyone out there, I know you likely already know this, but if you use code DARK, you save 20% at Tac Knives. The
Yeah,
other
give me a new
one
one.
is the Katana, which kind of has like a fake cord wrapping on it, and it's got the blue titanium screws, blue
That's sexy.
titanium little window breaker and pocket clip, and then fake katana blade. It's
Yeah,
not Damascus. It's just I think this one's D2. No, this one's 154 CM as well.
nice. 154 is good steel, man. It's very
Yeah.
versatile, easy to sharpen, usable. It's not too prone to like breaking at the tip, so it's good stuff. I like it.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. This has been tack knives, man. Has been good, and like for somebody if they want to get into like an auto knife and not spend microtech prices,
Hmm.
you can. I mean, shit, they got $50 auto knives on their site, but I mean, this I think right now after my code you can get for like 39-ish
Oh
bucks or
wow,
something like that. So it's not
that's a
bad at
deal.
all. And it comes with a stack of SK5 high carbon blades too, which
There you
is
go.
like primo. But this one is like 139, and I mean the quality, man, it's there. There's no, wobble in it. It's tough. I actually, and this is not a good idea. I don't recommend it, but I was literally throwing this in my garage earlier today. And the shit was, I mean, it was rocking.
Where were you throwing it at?
So I
Yeah,
made
like
this
drywall.
little. No, no, not that. I don't hate my walls that much. I made this little like this is gonna sound so crazy. I made a little like knife throwing station
Yeah, no, it
where
doesn't sound crazy at all, bro.
yeah, no, it's totally normal, right?
I like so where I'm at, like I live up on a mountain, and so I've got a little bit of property, and I set up like a bunch of big ass logs, and I'm sure my neighbors way off in the distance think I'm crazy because I'll be out there throwing hatchets, knives, and my favorite thing to throw are shovels. So
Wow.
the cold steel Spetsnaz shovel. So
Yes.
not like a typical old shovel. Like you,
Yeah. Dude, those
so
I
the yeah.
those are dope. Those things will
Oh, dude, they're
fly
so
for
rad.
sure.
Yeah, you want to like take take some friends out and throw some shovels. They'll have a good old time, man. It's so fun. Start
Hell
up a
yeah.
fire barrel, have a couple brews, and throw some shovels. It's good.
Yes. There's a link in the description for tack knives if that's what you're asking, Senor Bob, and code dark saves you. I never saw tack knives in the chat link. Yeah, yeah, tack knives. If you go in the description, you'll see the link, and if you use code dark, you save 20%. Um, yeah,
I
so
need to be hitting up these Goon Beam guys, dude. I mean, I
dude,
hear you talk about Goon Beam all the time, but I'm a big flashlight nerd, so I carry on me at all times. I always got my Streamlight. I don't even know
nice.
what model this is.
Probably a
So I used to be a mechanic
pro
back in the
TLX.
day. Oh man, Stryon LEDHL. I've had it for years, but when I was a
Okay.
mechanic, it was like flashlights were necessary. So
Yeah,
I always
you
have
you
that
got that.
guy, and then just like the little pen light. But I mean, dude, I've been carrying this thing for like 10 plus years, the Streamlight Pro Tac 2. But I keep meaning to look into like brands like Goonbeam, just kind of get something a little bit different,
Dude,
switch it up from my norm.
I am exactly the same, like literally 24/7, even while I sleep. I got the Goon Beam on
Yeah,
me. So it's got the low setting, it's got the medium setting, and it's got the high set or
nice.
low, medium, high. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's 80,000 candela and 1250 lumens for $69.
is that CR123
Y
battery?
no, no, it's the what's the little half of an 1850 or whatever it is?
18650s.
Yeah,
Yeah,
18650, thank you. So it's this little guy. He has his own batteries for it, little black batteries, and just drop them in
just
the charger.
rechargeable. Yeah,
Shit. Yep. And I'm a Streamlight dude, like all the way. And I'm the guy that has two flashlights
yep.
all day on me because, like you said, like whether it's for like excuse me, whether it's for like the use of a mechanic or if you find yourself in a garage in the middle of the day or
Oh yeah.
whatever, you never know. But
There's a
my
daily occurrence using my light. So like where I'm at, I ain't got no street lights around. Like I'm up in the woods, and so like getting out of
yeah,
my car or whatever I'm doing, like my flashlight is right there,
hell yeah.
every day, man, everyday use.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are like, well, just carry a light on your gun, and
Yeah,
and
or your phone. Your phone has a light. It's like, bro, come on.
yeah,
I
dude,
can
no. I
trust my
first off,
phone.
not everything I need to point a light at, I need to point a gun at,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And yeah, the light, I'm not gonna be fumbling with my phone when I need to shine
Mhm.
a light on something. And I got the light and the OC spray right next to each other, and
Nice.
they're almost the exact same size and stuff. So
Yep.
no, I will not confuse them, guys. I practice this shit, okay?
Dude, I
But
got a funny story on the OC spray. So, like, I like to carry that stuff when I can. So I used to have a
mhm,
job where I went into a lot of like random houses, and I always had it for a dog. Like, I don't want to like
yeah,
shoot somebody's dog if they're coming at me and just put myself in a world of like legal trouble. So OC spray is great for that. But when I was a little
100%.
kid, you go rummaging through your parents' car, like trying to find like snacks. So like my little sister was at a soccer game. I was probably, I don't even know, like 6 or 7, rummaging through the car looking for whatever I can eat with my brother, and we
Yeah.
found a can of OC spray, but I thought it was that like mist that you put in your mouth,
Oh,
like
like the
the
Banaka?
yeah, but yeah.
Oh my
So
god.
my brother and I like, oh, what's this? Like, let's try it out. And so I was at least somewhat smart enough to not spray it directly into my face, but I sprayed it like right in front. Oh, bro! Like my brother grabs it afterwards. I start crying, and he's like, "Used for military use only. Will cause instant death." Just like being a dick. And
Oh
so I
my
go
god.
running out onto the soccer field, screaming my eyes out, like just.
Dude,
My
it's
mom's like, "What
brutal.
the hell did you do?" Like, yeah,
N Not everybody
it was a
reacts
lesson,
to OC spray the same, right? Like,
right?
I've seen some people take direct blasts and just not even phase them at all.
Yeah,
Some people, man, bro, I don't know, like, when I got hit a couple times, it was like, and it was, it's just for everyone out there, no, I did not get pepper sprayed by some,
yeah.
like,
I was
random
about to
lady,
ask.
right? These were, uh these were things that were done on purpose. We all had our
Uh-huh.
jackass years, when we were
Sure. Oh
kids,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. I'm still in
So
that phase.
yeah, right. Just throwing shovels and,
Right,
just doing
right.
whatever crazy shit we can.
Well,
But
dude,
yeah,
have you seen those pepper ball guns?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I let my buddy shoot me with one of those.
Oh, fun. How did that work
It
out?
hurt, man. So we just did like the powder and not the actual OC powder.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I gotta try the OC powder one of these days. I'll post it up.
Bro, yeah, let me know. Maybe bring it to Shootah,
Yeah,
and that'd be good content, dude.
yeah, right.
This is my backup flashlight. It's always in my bag. Well, I'm sorry, not my bag, in my sack. And for everyone out there, yes, this is the same sack that Jerry McCulloch signed at
Nice.
Shot Show. It's kind of starting to wear out, but it's the Streamlight Micro Stream, and this is like the best like $29 that you
Yeah,
can spend with Streamlight. I mean, and you can even like, so it opens up to recharge it. Usually, I'm not down
yep.
with rechargeable shit, but Goonbeam totally changed my outlook on that. And when you bring it down to open up the micro USB port, it also tightens the
The beam.
yeah, the photonic focus of the beam.
Oh, nice. Very good terminology.
Yeah, right? So, yeah, highly recommend that. It's inexpensive, and it's helpful. Like, lights, you're gonna use lights more than you're gonna use your gun. You're gonna
Yep.
use your blade more than you're gonna use your gun, and you're gonna use medical way more likely that you'll use medical than you would your firearm, guys. So
Yeah.
make sure you keep all that other stuff on you.
Yeah, dude,
Now
EDC is important, man. I carry my pocket knife. I carry that stream light, the two stream lights.
mhm,
I also carry a Leatherman. Like I always got a Leatherman on me. I mean, dude, I use this thing so much. It's ridiculous. It's so
yeah.
handy to have a Leatherman.
Now is
And
it
then
like on your belt and a
yeah, it's
leather?
on my belt. Yeah, in a leather pouch. Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm like the classic. Like I should be
Old
wearing
school.
suspenders.
I love
um,
it.
yeah, and so I carry that, and then I always carry a bandana. Like that's just one of those things that like I've always
Nice.
carried since I was a kid, and like a bandana seems silly, but man, it could act like as all sorts of things. Like my dad was a volunteer firefighter way back in the day, and he like try and teach me all sorts of cool stuff. And one trick that I've learned is like if you're caught in like a burning building, you get a bandana, soak it with water, and put it around your mouth, and you're
Yep,
that's like gonna could save your life. But yeah,
for
dude,
sure.
bandana. It seems silly, but that's something I always carry, and I always got like a metal pen on me. I don't really like do like the tactical pen, but it's just something just as a pen that's metal, and I don't bust the clip on.
Mhm.
Um, and then I always carry a little pocket revolver. So I've got like the North American Arms 22 mag 5-shot revolver. That's just like
Nice.
something like a quick little backup. And it seems silly, dude. People give me a lot of shit about it, but it's like I can carry all that and look just as normal as anybody with just their phone and wallet. Like I
Bro,
think everyday carry is super important. Like the one thing I want to try and integrate in would be a tourniquet. You know,
nice.
try and
Hell
have
yeah.
those things in my vehicles. Try and have med kits. I haven't really like integrated that into my like everyday carry yet, but some point.
Dude, if you can, the best thing to do is go to North American Rescue for like 79 bucks, buy one of the bleeding control kits
Yeah.
and just keep it in your car,
Yep.
or something. And you can kind of mix and match different stuff. Like I've taken one of the bleeding control kits, I added steri strips, I added the shit called Skinafix, which is
Okay.
like, so I didn't know about it until my daughter fell and busted her chin open and it like split, right? And I was like, she's gonna need stitches, she's gonna need all this shit, right?
Mhm.
And they're gonna have to give a shot to numb her and all that. I bring her in and they look at it and they're like, okay, we got this. And they take this shit, they crack it like a chem light, okay? And then this purple like goo starts like filling up the thing. I actually did a YouTube short on this and I
Okay.
used it on a real cut. I cut my thumb open on a knife, of course. And they started applying it like lip gloss to her chin and it super glued her freaking cut shut, and then
Interesting.
you let it dry for like a minute and boom, it's done. I couldn't find the shit anywhere. And when I did, I found it on eBay for like $200.
Oh,
And I was
yikes.
like, hell no, I'm not going to.
Yeah,
So I just
that's
went to
wildly
this
expensive.
random like medical supply shop online and it was like $29 for a pack of 12 of them. It's like, oh hell yeah, I'm going to throw these in
Nice.
all my little medical kits. So that's a good thing to add to. Um, PWEDC, so prison wallet everyday carry. So a North American Arms 22 Magnum in the beehole is the best thing you can do. There's no better way to use that space.
Yeah. It's
But removing it every time you go to the bathroom.
yeah, it's hard to get sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, it's depending on how like high your stress level is, sometimes you could just like and then grab it real quick. But but dude, honestly, as silly as it may sound, like, so what you just listed off that you carry, like, I love that. I love the idea of a second firearm, right? I love the idea of two lights. I love the idea of the multi-tool. Like, that's huge, man, and that will
Yeah.
always, be more helpful likely than the gun. But I think as long as you can carry what you carry without you know, going way too overboard, right? Like a lot of people, they'll carry two guns, wearing 511 pants and
Right.
freaking like all that. If you could just look like a regular dude and
Yep.
carry everything you just mentioned, that is the like primo setup.
Yeah.
Like I typically carry the Glock 43X. I just kind of transitioned to the 30S. I'm not totally sold on it, but my typical carry is a Glock 43X with 21 rounds in it with the S15 shield arms mags, um, and a JM4 tactical holster. To the left of that, one 15-round S15 shield arms mag. And then on my right pocket, I have usually a Cold Steel Black Talon 2. And then
Nice.
I may have an auto knife to the left on the right pocket, but to the left side of it, and then on my left side, I got the flashlight OC spray, and I think that's it as far as like on my person. But I'll have medical either in my bag or in my car, and then just other shit like you know you may need Pepto, you may need some stuff that gives you energy, you may need whatever medicines you take. There's so many things you guys can add in like in a small sack like this.
Yep.
So
Carrying
yeah.
a bunch of
Oh,
deck picks in it too.
yes, as many deck picks as you can fit in there. Polaroids.
Dude, so I don't know if you noticed, I like started that whole deck pick series. That was like rolling off of your whole deck pick jokes because I take
For
a lot of
real?
photos on my deck. And like because dude, I had like 4 feet of snow up here and I couldn't get up my driveway for like 4 or 5 months. So
Oh my
I
god.
didn't go to the range. And so I started taking a bunch of pictures on my deck. I'm like, I'm just going to call this my deck series.
Dude,
So
I didn't
any
even
deck picks you
know.
got. Yeah. Yeah, dude, I tagged you in one of them. I think it was
Oh,
the one with
really?
the little Derringer, the 410. Yeah,
Man,
and I was like,
oh,
this is
I
my
did see
next
that.
series. Yeah,
I
yeah.
did see that. You know what? I admittedly have not been as active on like Instagram and
I know you're
some
good,
other
man.
places as I
Sometimes you gotta
should
take
have
a break
been.
from it, for real.
Yeah, yeah. Lastly, even though I dislike where we are in America and dislike our currency, however, carrying $100 can be done in several different ways. Carrying one single $100 bill is not always the best way to do it. So,
Right.
what I currently have is I just took this out of my sack. I have four $20 bills, and then inside I have a little swoop. I have a $25 roll of golden dollars. So like,
Okay.
you can open it
Sounds like
up.
an equalizer, man. You put that thing in your fist and you
You already know there's a lot of different uses for this. It could be a
Yeah.
fist filler, right?
Right, right.
Or it could be, if you only need to spend $1 and like let's say like shit popped off, right? And it's like we are headed to the kinetic fucking boog, and you need to like get home or whatever. If
Yep.
you go to somebody with $100 bill when in a time where cash still means something and you're like,
Yeah.
"Can I buy this for $1?" They're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I got something for your bitch ass. Like, come here." you know. You don't want to break $100 bill in the
No.
middle of the civil
No,
unrest.
that's very wise,
So
man. Yeah, I
having these
typically yeah.
gold dollars.
No, that's awesome. I've got a stack of gold dollars and $2 bills. I don't carry them
Nice.
around though.
Dude,
Love the
it's a
$2
good
bill.
conversation piece too,
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, I
Yeah.
usually try and carry some cash on me, but unless I'm broke as fuck, I just gotta buy something with it. But yeah,
It
typically a couple
happens.
tens, a twenties, a fives. Like it's really wise to have some cash on for sure.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
types of situations.
Also, a Sharpie is helpful. You
Yep.
never know where you need to leave a message
Yep.
for someone.
100%.
Yeah. Now, okay, so let's keep going on that. So let's
Yeah.
say that, SHTF, WROL, Teowaki, whatever, like, the end is nigh and, shit's popping off, we lose power, our cell phones stop working, and all of a sudden people are running around in full kit and, it's waka 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 all day, whether that's machine guns or helicopters, you pick. But, let's say like shit's popping off, it's going down. What's your setup and what are you grabbing? Like guns, gear, your whole shit. Like what are you throwing on?
So, I mean, if so, here's the thing. It's different for me because I live like way out of the city.
Yeah.
I'm bugging in. Like I ain't bugging out. I'm bugging in. But
Yep.
if I did have to exit the premises, so like my go-to gun, even though I'm an AK guy, so I got a PWS MK111, so piston-driven AR,
Nice.
and that's like my go-to when it comes to something like that because that you're gonna be able to find 5.56, 223 AR mags around. So that's like my go-to long gun setup, and then I got the VP9L, which would be like the sidearm, and it's the only downside to it is it's my only paddle mag release handgun. And
Mm.
so, like, I'm so used to push button mag release, like majority of US is, but I decided to go with the paddle mag release because I want to try something different. But that's like my go-to. I'm super accurate with it, super proficient with that firearm.
So hold
It's
on.
just
Are you wrong-handed?
nah, no.
Okay. All right. Just asking. Just curious.
Yeah, no, you're good. No, ain't no wrong-handed here. But I did the paddle mag release. I wanted to try something different, I guess, and I've gotten good with it, but not as good as I should be. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, man. So like, I'd be wearing that. I've got like a old plate carrier. Not really like proud to admit it, but they're steel plates. So one of these days, I just need to get myself some what's the word I'm looking for? What are the other
The
plates?
ceramics, the
Ceramic,
level
yes, thank
4.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Need to get me something like that. And then yeah, I've got some backpacks that just have full of like camping gear. So I used to be like way into backpacking. Like
Okay.
backpacking, I'd go out for like 4 days on my own, do some peaks, and that was like my thing. So I've got like all sorts of backpacking setups, dehydrated foods, little stoves. Um,
Nice.
yeah, like try and do like my own little survival thing. And then I've got like a truck all set up for that as well. Um, I mean, I could go really far into detail on this, but
Yeah,
uh,
go as far as you want, man.
yeah, no, I mean, and it's like it's hard. It's like you want to take everything, right? Like I want a shotgun for this, I want a long gun for this, I need,
yeah,
my little 22 for this, I need all of that, and it's like you gotta, settle on like one or two guns, so it's tough. But I
yeah,
think that PWS and that VP9 would be like my two go-to, and I definitely would take a conceal too, because like you take all those things and then you go, try and like I guess scavenging through town. You don't want to be carrying all that stuff in certain situations, right? You want to look a
yeah.
little bit more conceal, a little bit more gray man, so you'd want your conceal as well. So
Hell
it
yeah,
really like the more you think about it and the more you like play that scenario in your head, like I think is wise. Like if you never think about it and then all of a sudden it happens, you're going to be so unprepared. But
for
if you're
sure.
not going out and spending the money on those things, at least like think about those situations and mentally prepare yourself for that type of situation, so that you're not the person like screaming in the corner, like help me.
Yeah,
Like I can't stand that type of person. I've been around it before, and it's like this is not who I need to be around. And so like I think just being self-proficient and knowing how to handle those types of situations and having the right gear is extremely important. So I mean,
100%.
yeah, like I said, dude, like I I I would be bugging in because I've got like food storage, water storage. I haven't gotten to the point of like growing my own garden, but I want to do like a little veggie garden on my deck because I've got like a ton of deer that come up to my place, and
On your what? On your what?
yeah, I'm gonna
Your
grow a
deck?
garden on my deck. I mean, my deck.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to ask, just for
And then you got me
clarity,
good. No, you got me good on that one.
No, dude,
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
that's
So
a great setup.
yeah, like someday, it's like the dream of like having like your own little like um, homestead, right? Like chickens, a garden, doing all that stuff, and that's like my goal at some point is to get to that point. Did he just say deck? But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what about you? Like, I hear you talk about it all the time, man. Like, on
Yeah,
most of your streams, you're talking about that stuff. So that's like one of the reasons. Like, I love those types of things, even if it's just like a simple conversation with someone who's like passionate about it or just getting into it. I think those things are important to talk about. And like you said with the whole like that TV show Doomsday Preppers, like it really did
mhm,
give people like even like myself like kind of a bad image. And it's like, oh man, what do you think
yeah,
the end of the world's like right around the corner? It's like, no, I hope it's not. I want to be able to go down the street and get myself a double bacon cheeseburger anytime I want. Like I
yeah,
love that. I don't want that going away. But if it does, I want to be prepared, and I want to be the person that others can come to, and I want to be helpful in that type of situation, you know?
yeah. I mean, I think so. I totally agree, and I think that the conditioning of like the general populace is that of like. So if you've ever had a conversation with like a normie and said something along the lines of anything about preparedness, usually the first thing they say is what, like those doomsday preppers,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like that is their understanding of it because it was publicized so much and
Yep.
it's still even referenced to this day by, media and whatever. So like that's kind of their perspective. So I think having conversations with people about this type of shit, like so I come from a big family, right? And a lot of my brothers and sisters and other people like they never really saw things like I did, like of like how fragile our system is,
Oh,
how
man.
corrupt and how damaged and how they just didn't see it like that. My parents too, right? And flash forward, right, to having these conversations with them. My dad's got an AR, an AR-10. He's got a M17 and a 19X and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, like he's stocking ammo. I'm like, okay, I feel better about that. Like that's dope,
Yeah.
right? Two of my brothers, they're doing the same kind of thing, strapping up, carrying guns and EDC gear just like me. Matter of fact, my one of my brothers was the one that got me the OC spray. Um
Nice.
and it's just interesting to see, and I think COVID kind of changed a lot of the
Oh,
perspective
yeah.
on things like
Dude,
this, right?
100%. Like, it was wild to see that. I even had people hitting
Yeah.
me up. They're like, yo, dude, like, if things pop off, like, can I come
Can
up
I
there? I'm
come
like,
to
I
your
don't
house?
know. What are
Yeah.
you bringing? What do you got on the table, bro? Because, like, you got
Yeah.
toilet paper?
Yeah, right. Well, and that's the perfect example. It's like, there was so much just like delirium. Like I don't even know what to call it, right? Like there was so much um, you know, public like hysteria around
Yeah.
things, and at that point people would run into Walmart, right? Not even needing toilet paper, but they would
Mhm.
see the toilet paper section empty.
Empty.
And then they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, why is everyone getting
Can't wipe
toilet
my
paper? What
ass.
do I not know? What do I not know? Oh my
Yeah.
god, how much do I have at home?" And then people were literally getting in fist fights, right? So like
Yeah. It's crazy.
within a few days, people were beating their at each other's asses over shit paper, right? So like
You know?
what would they do if they were starving to death or if they were dying of thirst?
Dude.
Right? So it totally changes your perspective, and,
Mhm.
no one is coming to save us. So I
Nope.
think that, you know, first thing is like you said, having those conversations and just going through those thought exercises of
Yeah.
what would
Yeah.
it look like if everything broke, right? A lot of people say like in the city, like let's say New York or DC or Cali, within 9 meals, people are going to be eating their neighbors, right?
Oh,
3
100%.
days. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be a total
What's
shit
that
show.
term? I can't think of it right now, but it's like how the grocery stores run, like on demand, right? Like if the trucks stop running, the grocery stores will be done in like 3 days. There's a certain term for it that they use, but I just can't think of it. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
we saw it. Like these grocery stores started running low on supplies, and people were freaking
yeah,
out. And it's
yeah,
like you said, fist fighting over toilet paper. It's like, damn, dude, I remember wiping my ass with like big tree leaves in the woods. Like I'll get by on that,
yeah.
but if I need food, like that's a
Dude,
whole other story. People get hungry and it gets
and think
unreal.
about, like, their kids, right? All
Yeah,
of a sudden they got kids they need to feed, we talked about this when we, were reviewing the stories of the guy that lived through a year
P38
of,
Walker.
yeah, P30, that's my guy. Should be
Man,
like
should be like
Wagyu.
Wagyu.
So,
That's
like,
terrible.
I know he's so bad. Oh, hold on. Just in time inventory. Hold on,
Yeah, just in time
what? I
inventory.
mean,
That's it. There, yeah.
wow. Okay, dude, that's crazy. I love you. The person who texts me that, I love you, man. Damn, that's crazy. Okay, so the thing that's kind of like interesting is like having conversations with people that like like I said, some of my family and friends and people also like, oh, you're crazy. Oh, like those doomsday preppers, right? But
Right.
it brings a completely different perspective when it's like fear has nothing to do with this, right? Like, usually asking them questions like, okay, do you have health insurance? Do you have life insurance? Do you have insurance on your vehicle? Right?
Right.
Do you have money in your savings account or whatever? This is the same thing. Like I pray
Yeah.
to God that I never have to use any of these skills, these tools, this, inventory or whatever, but I'm going to be thanking God. And I would get into it with my wife, previously, like, you know, just over like whatever, like over water storage being over here or there or
Yeah.
whatever, or like, you know, tools and gear and shit being out. And I'm like, you know what? One day you're gonna be like down on your knees, like, thank God, you prepared for whatever. And I think people think that it's an extreme thing, but in reality, it could be a blackout, right? We could just lose electricity, right? It doesn't have to be China's invading. It doesn't have to be that, it's total Tiatuaki or whatever.
Right.
It could just be a storm, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at other parts of the well, I guess you're in another part of the country, but like all around the
Yeah.
country or all around the world, these people experience like these giant hurricanes or
Yeah.
tornadoes or whatever it may be. Like even up where I'm at, like I get, I had so much snow this winter I couldn't access my home, and up where I'm at, we actually we have like a summer and winter water program. So in the winter they shut down our running water. So I have tanks in my
Really?
basement. I have a whole house pump that I run to pressurize my home, and I'm limited to the amount of water I can use all winter. So I stink all winter is pretty much what I'm saying. But
Wow.
so so yeah, so like I have to haul water in the winter, but with my driveway being inaccessible, I couldn't haul water, so I was limited to the amount of water I could use. And so that's like just living in this lifestyle that I live. It's helped me prepare for like better water storage,
Yeah.
and I'm a good like 20 minutes from a grocery store, driving on some highways, and so like and like the
Damn.
closest fast food for me is right next to the grocery store. So I try and like stay up on my groceries and stay up on like typical food storage, canned foods, dehydrated foods, and whatever I can afford to
Yeah.
buy. Buy an extra can of food, every week. It's super cheap, but you stock up on that stuff, and when the time comes, you're not feeling like you have to run to the grocery store to get what you can and put yourself or your family in danger by approaching like a dangerous situation just to get yourself a couple cans of food. It's like living
Yes.
that type of lifestyle, whether you are in like an apartment or you live in, on a big old ranch. Like
Yep.
it's just important to be
Well,
prepared and
and
stay ready for those types of situations.
yeah, whatever the situation may be. And I think that, people get this idea stuck in their head of like, well, if you're prepping, then you're only buying emergency food. Or
Right.
if you're prepping, then you're only buying, whatever X kind of water, whatever, right? Like you can prep on a budget just using the grocery store. Sorry, I'm filling
Yep.
my e-cig
No,
right
you're good,
now.
man. Do your thing. Yeah, no, 100%. Like you see those like, excuse me, lot sales. You
Yep.
buy a couple cans of like canned peaches, you rotate it out, you hit them before they expire, and those expires or expiration dates. Those are suggested.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's for the liability of the company.
Yeah,
You know?
100%. But yeah, and there's all sorts of ways to do food storage. Like so, I'll sometimes buy like it's expensive, but like those dehydrated backpacking meals. Like when I was doing a lot of backpacking, like I'd pick up a few of those, and
Yep.
then so what I would
Dude,
do
Mountain
is
House Mountain House
yeah.
is the shit, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you could, you live off of those for a couple weeks and you're good. The cool thing about something like that, or like a quick pack of like oatmeal, is like if you are in that type of situation, you have to make a run and you want to have like a little bit of food with you. It's better than like bringing a bunch of food you have to cook, right? You just add
Yeah,
hot water and you're going.
yeah.
So having a couple of those things on the ready is always smart. So it's
But
not like you have to
also
go out and just
having
dump a
water.
bunch of money. Yeah, now the
Yeah.
water, that can be very tricky for a lot of people. That's a key component right there.
And that's like the most overlooked aspect. Like people, just think that and look, I don't have my water like down pat, right? And I guess
Yeah,
I
who
also didn't like
does?
I didn't like fully answer your question, but I mean, I guess like so I look at it like this. Water, food, shelter, security, right? Like
Yep,
those are like the four things. You're going to die sooner without this, and then second to that, so water first off, right? Food, second off, shelter, third off, and then security, fourth off, right? Like you're going to die within, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food.
yeah.
Shelter is, it depends, right?
So
Depends
I've always
on,
heard like the big threes are like the 3 hours without shelter, 3 days without food, and three or water, and 3 weeks without food. But like
and
it's
3
it's
minutes
really
without air.
depending. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. It really depends. Like I mean, if if you're in a good climate, like shelter isn't 100% necessary right at that moment, right? Like
Hmm.
water, I think securing a good water source is extremely important, and
100%. That is like
you ain't
the
gonna make.
premier thing. And also like if you guys are going to be storing water, cuz the goal, like you said, is to have a homestead where you have fresh water access. And
Yeah,
not everybody's in that situation. I'm in a situation where I can't buy property for like a year, so I'm gonna have to wait. So like you know I can't go buy property with a creek on it right now, right?
yeah,
So like maybe one day, but not right now. So I literally have to store water. And I'm storing water and I'm bleach treating it.
yep.
And you can do that, right? And it's clean filtered water and all that. Hold on, I just saw. Oh shucks, sorry.
Yeah, so water's tough because a lot of people like they're like, oh, just get a well drilled. But with a well, you still have to pump that water up, which means you have to have power for that pump. And like there's classic style of like the hand pump and like a farm pump type thing, which is certainly a possibility. But a lot of people are like, oh, I just got like my buddy with a ranch, he's got a well. Okay, well, how do you power that pump? Are you powering that off a gas generator, diesel generator, propane generator?
Yeah.
Like, there's just so many uh, so many factors that come into play. And like my water storage, I mean, I've got big, like I got a 1,500 gallon tank that I use all winter. So like I said, like I run off water storage half the year, so I'm pretty familiarized with it and
Yeah,
like how to utilize it. But when I lose my power, I've got a giant generator, but I don't have like a streamlined way of hooking those things I pump up to this generator, right? So there's so many things that come into play. So I think it really just comes down to like if you don't have the money to just set up this giant compound, just get to the basics. Like store
yeah,
a little bit of water in a couple 5 gallon jugs, make it to where you can easily, head for the hills if need be, and have your water filters, your food storage security set, so you are able to,
yeah.
hit the road when needed.
And be prepared to do so without power, without air
Yeah.
conditioning,
Yep.
without, the ability to flush a toilet,
Yeah.
right? Like, there's gonna come a time where you're not gonna wanna dump a gallon of water into the toilet to flush it, you know?
No, definitely not.
So, like, one thing we had, I forgot the guy's name, I always forget, but, he lived through a year of true SHTF in, fuck, where was it? I always forget this. Someone's gonna say it, and it's deck pump. It was,
Bump.
God, somebody help me out with it. I'm totally drawing a blank. We've talked about this like 1,000 times.
So he lived in like another country and he was just kind of like in a shitty situation that he had to survive through.
Yeah, it was a complete, like, all out, like, shit at the fan scenario, and it was, whatever. So he lived for, like, a year, year and a half in a, shit at the fan scenario, and, like, he went as deep because he lived through it, right? A lot of people didn't. He was
Yeah.
talking about, like, his streets were, littered with bodies.
Bam.
Bosnia, thank you,
Bosnia.
Wilberto.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think Bosnia technically, I think Kimball is correct too in a way. Maybe my geography's a little rusty. Sorry, guys. I didn't finish high school. So the stories that he was telling was like, you run into problems that you didn't even consider that you may have, like where do you bury your shit, right?
Right.
And then when your neighbors see you shitting, guess what they know? You've been eating. So if you're eating, right, then you
Mm.
you have food, right?
Yeah.
So, it was basically like finding a way to hide the fact that you're cooking and eating and even, dropping a deuce and only moving at night. And instead of walking on the street where he said like snipers and shooters were just like, if you go out wearing a backpack, they'll just shoot your ass so they can take whatever you got. And he's basically moving through abandoned buildings and through fences and just only moving at night. And there was a market where people would basically barter,
Yeah.
and like these things just like kind of, just came up. Like the civilians just came together and they were like, "Hey, this is a market where we're going to trade." And he would come and he would trade like ammunition for food, or the one thing guys stock up on these Bic lighters. Bic
Yeah.
lighters were like, that is the ability to cook 10,000 times, right?
Yep.
The ability to be warm. And but one of the things he said is like, be very, very aware of who you choose to associate with. You may have the best friend. You may have the best, like, a guy may know you like the back of your hand. You guys may like, get all larped out and, run pretend ops together and shit like that and know each other's family and all that. But stick with family because you'll get to a point where there's only one piece of bread left and he's going to have to choose, do I feed my child or do I let you feed your child, and
Oh yeah. It's gonna be him.
yeah. And
Or me or you, right?
yeah, exactly. It's like, basically he said stay small, stick with family, don't travel during the day, travel at night. And the things that you would have to hide, like even going out at night and not looking sickly, he said he would make himself dirty and sickly looking just to look like he didn't have supplies. Y-
Interesting.
you know so I think personally, if we do get to a point, and God forbid, I pray that this does not happen,
Yeah.
if we do get to a point where it is like total breakdown of the system, and we have to basically you know, be as independent as we possibly can to survive, I think we're way more likely to be in street clothes with a Glock in our waistband than in full kit with a plate carrier and a rifle. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just kind of
You just
like,
bring attention to yourself.
yeah, right? And there's covert and overt. So if you are overtly rocking full kit, I mean, it's easy to you got a 50-50 shot if someone is behind you or in front of you. And if you are in full kit, someone could just crack you in the noggin and, you're done. You're
Yep.
leaking and all your shit
Loot
is
drop.
now theirs. Yeah, so everybody has the same weaknesses when it comes to that. Rabbits, yes, but you can also starve to death eating rabbits too. So
I've
you
heard
need
that.
to, yeah,
It's
it's kind of
interesting.
crazy, right?
Yeah.
You need
Hopefully the
to,
person you're trading the rabbit to doesn't know that. You just trade it for a gun or something.
yeah, right. So the other thing you said is that ammunition ran dry, right? So you need batteries for your toys. So make
Yep.
sure you are, stocking up on ammunition,
Well, and
but
that was something we
also
saw
training.
during like the Rona, right? Like the
Yep.
ammo ran dry for everybody. Everybody was freaking
Yep.
out, and guns and ammo ran dry real quick. I mean, and
Yep.
now we're still recovering from it. We're still seeing high ammo costs, solely due to that whole, you know, run on ammo and guns. It's wild to think that just
Yep.
something like a, I don't know, we all were like afraid of the Rona when it first hit. No one knew what it was, right? So everybody was kind of freaking out. Now it's just like, from what I've seen, like a fairly common cold. I mean, I'm sure it affected other
Yeah.
people differently, right? Like I don't want to hurt anybody's feeling if in case they lost someone to it, but it's just wild to think that something like that can cause a run on the grocery stores, the gun stores, the essentials, right? The essential stores that were
Yeah.
allowed to stay open. We're just selling out of everything.
Yeah.
Gave
And
everybody a quick look at what could possibly happen.
to this day, like you mentioned, there's still effects on like ammunition and things like that. And we recently just talked about on another show that we did that Turkey, we import a lot of copper from Turkey, right?
Yeah,
And they apparently said that they're not going to import any more copper to the United States. Well, what do you think
interesting.
that's going to affect? Ammunition
Ammo.
in
Yeah,
a very big way. So, I actually you can buy like copper bullion and stuff like that. So I actually ended up getting some copper just because I came across it like for stupid cheap. But stack up on ammo now if you can, because I believe, and I'm just speculating based off some things that I saw, um, or that I've seen happening, that it's likely that we're going to be into another ammunition, not crisis, but shortage. So stock up on what you can and just make sure you always have extra ammo for every caliber.
yeah.
And but to go back all the way to your initial question, which was what would my
Which one?
loadout be?
Oh
Yeah.
man, sorry, dude. I probably walked right all
Oh,
over
bro,
that
it was
combo.
totally me. I have become highly skilled in running my mouth.
Yeah,
Um, so
that's right. I forgot about
I
that question.
no, it's great. It brought us here, right? Is
Yeah,
this is the beautiful thing about these like long form conversations is like it like changes and kind of morphs and like, it always develops. But so my go-to is I built this like Frankenstein 556 AR. And yes, I love AKs too, but all my ARs are in the front of my safe and all my AKs are in the back of my safe. And
yeah,
yeah, maybe if we end up like if the streets are just overflowing with blue helmets with AKs and AK plate carriers or
right.
maybe I'll grab an AK, right? But for the most part, I'm gonna grab an AR if shit pops off. So I built it's an LWRC M6IC lower, and I got a Fostech Echo binary trigger, which I love that thing. I've
Nice.
ran the hell out of it, and it's great. It's a good feature to have. I may not always use
It
it, but
is. Yeah,
and it's a BCM upper receiver with a BCM gunfighter bolt carrier group with a Colt 10.3 inch 5.56 barrel, Midwest handguard. and an AAC SDN6 30 cal suppressor on a 5.56, but still runs like a champ. And I got the 1X prismatic Cyclops optic on it. And I got a Goon Beam 1000, I think it's 1000 lumen. Yeah, 1000 lumen torch on it. And I think that's it. Do I have something else on? No, I think that's it. So that's like
Nice.
my primary, like, you know, long gun.
Yep.
And I would usually say I'm rocking the Glock, but in this case, I'm rocking the on my war belt right up there. I got the Beretta M9A3 and 6 AR mags on the plate carrier if I'm rocking a plate carrier.
Yep.
Um, and then on my war belt, I got 4 Beretta mags. I may bring that down to 3. Uh, 3. Yes, I'm a multicam guy. Sorry, guys. I may bring that down to 3 pistol mags because everyone tells me it's way too much. But how's how's too much ammo a bad thing? I don't get it.
Unless you're trying to run real fast.
That's true. I may ditch the plate carrier for speed, but we'll see.
Right.
And
Got enough ammo, you don't have to run fast though. That's the thing.
that's also true. That's also true. I'll just pull a Benicio del Toro with the Beretta and just
There you go. Yep.
what just bump fire that bitch. And then what else? I think I got med kit, another tourniquet, so a couple tourniquets, Safari Land holster, and
Nice.
another backup AR mag. So like if I run empty on the plate carrier, then and if I'm not grabbing the plate carrier, I got level 4 plates, ceramics. Um, then I'm just gonna grab chest rig with 3 4 what 4 no yeah 4 4 AR max.
Gotcha.
Sorry. So yeah, that's like my kind of setup. But
Yeah.
I also, like you mentioned, have a chin gun, which is usually the Keltec P3A T, which is the little tiny little pocket 380.
Okay. Wait, what'd you call it? A chin gun?
A chin gun.
I've
Yeah.
never heard that term before.
It's a little dark, but
Yeah.
a chin gun is if you're black on ammo on your rifle and you're black on ammo on your pistol, and all you have is the 7 rounds in a Keltec P3AT, let's just say 6 of them are for whatever else is coming at you,
Right.
and 1 of them is
Yeah, I get you.
for your chin. Kinda like your North
Yeah.
American Arms
Right.
22 Magnum,
Yep.
Not that you intend to use it for
No,
that,
no,
but
I hear what you're saying, man. I hear it.
yeah. Yeah. But it depends, right? Like, maybe I'll run it dry and then throw it at them, and because I got blades on my shit, I got all sorts of shit. I'm not done fighting,
Just
once
leave
I
one
get them.
round for you.
Yeah, yeah,
Just get
right,
that
just
one.
one, yeah. Maybe I'll just, like, squeeze one little 380 round in, like, the Molly somewhere, something like
Yeah.
that, just like, beep,
380, huh? Huh. I didn't expect that.
just as a backup.
Yeah.
But honestly, I would pull there's just something special about knives, and
Yeah.
I've been researching a lot about the human body, and knives and the human body don't get along very well
Nah,
wi-
man.
in the right places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the last thing I'd want to be involved in is a knife fight. That'd be
Oh,
gnarly.
yeah, dude. Especially
But it's
here.
good
Let
to have
me
one.
let me show you my go-to. Hang on.
All right. Man, you're gonna leave me here with all these people? So, I just watched Wayne's World where he's just left alone with the camera. And he's just staring at it, and they're talking about some scene where his head blows away. Feeling like that right now. Oh, thank God he's back.
Los pollos hermanos. So, I know we're pushing 3 hours here, so we can wrap up
Oh,
in a
you're good,
moment.
man. No, I'm having a good time.
So, my typical EDC, I know today I was carrying the auto knife, but I love the Cold Steel Black Talon because
Yeah.
when you draw it out of your
Yep.
pocket,
Got that
it
little wave
opens up.
technique.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. So this is the go-to, and it's great because with like a forward grip, you can do a lot of like ripping and pulling, and it's a flat grind, so it's sharp.
Oh yeah.
It's getting up in there. And the serrated option
Nice.
is
That's
oh, is
sexy.
that? Oh, wrong side. The serrated option is pretty gnarly as well. I mean, look at
Yeah.
that tip, dude. Like that's basically like, you could sink the first like inch and a half, 2 inches in there, and it just,
You gotta
they're
be
pretty
quick,
mean.
man. Gotta be real
Yeah, super
fast.
quick.
Yeah.
If you could just catch someone like,
Right.
right there, or the leg, the arm. I mean, there's a lot of skill in knife fighting properly.
Yeah.
And you know, being able to, if you're in like an entanglement of some sort, being able to, work your hand like with a hook like that, being able to work your hand around the meat of someone's arm, it can get pretty, yeah, there, you can do a lot of work with knives. But on my plate carrier, I have the Gerber or LFO or whatever, the big fixed blade. That thing is,
Yeah.
I've done a
So
lot
let's
of work
see.
with that.
On my plate carrier, right here, got a little mix of some woodland, some M81, a little bit of
Nice.
multicam, but the
Yeah.
Cold Steel SRK is usually like my go-to
Excellent knife.
portable. Yeah, dude, these things are solid. This you see, I've got like four of them. This one's never been used, but no,
Nice.
they're good knives, man.
Hold that
But
back
I
up
was
again.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's the SRK from Cold Steel.
Nice.
I think they're carbon steel,
Yeah.
which isn't the best for like blade retention or edge retention, but they are definitely tough. But I was gonna say on the blades that open up with the draw of the pocket, like the
Mm-hmm.
wave. I've got
Yeah.
that CRKT Provoke. You ever mess with those?
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well,
dude, when I first got that thing, I tore up the pair of pants. Like
oh
just practicing. I mean, luckily it
yeah.
was just the pants I was tearing up, but
Nice. Yeah. Those
yeah, I don't wear
things
those things
will.
anymore.
Yeah, those will do some serious damage. I have
Yeah,
you seen the 3D printed version of that?
I don't think so. I
Okay,
didn't know there
so
was one.
it's nuts. So basically what they did is they took the Cricut Provoke and they turned it into,
Whoa, whoa, hold up. You just call it a cricket?
yeah, sorry. They took
So,
the
so I
Columbia
worked
River
at a
knifing
knife. Yeah,
tool.
there you go. Okay, I worked at a knife counter for a lot of years, and like I was like, dude, it's not cricket, it's CRKT, bro. Come on.
You're right, it
I'm
is.
just giving you a hard time.
And I look, I'm all about the CRKTs because I love crickets. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
but
No, they're
they
good
took
stuff, man.
the limbs and joints on it. They made them in 3D printed like sections,
Okay.
and then there's a spot where you can torque down a razor blade. Here, I'll grab it. I'll show it
Oh,
to you. Hang on.
oh, you're gonna leave me alone with all these guys again? Oh man,
You're good. You're good. They'll be kind.
I know. I just don't know how to talk to myself amongst other people. I feel like I'm here talking, everybody's listening, but I have no idea what they're listening to. Are they actually listening to me? Probably not. I'm still here.
Okay, so here. Speaking of Columbia River Knife and Tool, if you're ever on an airplane and need something to carry, this little key is great.
Interesting.
I've taken it on like literally 100 flights. Also, CRKT.
Nice. Yep.
Yeah, this thing is pretty badass.
See, I think I've got this guy right here. What is it? The Eros
Oh, nice.
little blade. Just like a letter opener, really. Not much to it.
Okay, here it is. I got it. Okay, so knowing what the Provoke looks like, this
Okay.
this is 3D printed, and shout out to
Yeah.
UAV Hero because this guy 3D printed it and then he Cerakoted it, cured the Cerakote on, and then sanded it down to be blue and black. Like
Dude,
he's
that's
crazy.
wicked.
So you can use it as an impact tool because it's actually printed in PETG, but you just push it out
Nice.
and boom, you got a pretty effective box cutter there.
Yeah.
And it's got magnets inside, so It just
Oh, okay. That's cool.
yeah. So hold on. So there's this the CRKT provoke opens up when you draw it
Hmm.
from the pocket?
Yeah, it's like a certain method that you have to, you got to stroke it just right, but
Yeah.
it'll open up, and if you just get that stroke perfect, it'll open up, and the blade's gonna be sticking out like that.
Oh, like gravity kinda like drop it? Like
Gravity, but it's got to roll on the outer liner of your pocket.
ah.
I guess so. I'm right-handed. I'm carrying on the right, and you push it towards the edge of that pocket, and when you draw, it'll open, but you just got to be careful because it will tear up your pants.
Okay, so you're kinda pushing the back
Yeah,
against
exactly.
the gotcha, gotcha. Okay,
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah, dude, I love the idea of the provoke. I love that the, pocket clip is integrated with the the whole system, you know?
mhm,
It's, like, super flat.
yep,
It's cool, man. It's a really cool design. The fact that somebody actually sat and designed a
yeah,
3D printed like that look at the little
that's super
arms.
cool.
Like, isn't that crazy, dude? Like, shout out to the people out there that do
Yeah,
stuff like this.
yeah, that
It's
that takes
pretty
some
nuts.
time, some effort right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, it's no joke.
It's beyond my
Um,
scope of knowledge for sure.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Now I know we've talked about a lot this evening, but,
Yeah.
before we wrap it up, is, anything else you wanna hit on or share with the class before we, bring it to a close?
I had a couple things written down, but we've pretty much gone over everything. Just wanted to give a shout out to CRS channel, missing
Yeah, man.
Matt. So I've been trying to stay up to date on that. I know it's a tough subject for a lot of people, but yeah,
Yeah,
doing
dude.
what we can on that. It's tough, man.
Yeah, man. It's just, like, unbelievable that he's in this situation, and,
Yeah,
I mean, I get it, like, I guess the best way that I could describe it is I'm surprised, and I also expected them to have their way, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I'm surprised, and I'm shocked, and I'm not surprised, I guess, would be the
right.
best way to put it, because they always position themselves to win, and when you have a jury full of people that does not understand the decision that they're making, obviously they hear the word machine gun, machine gun, machine gun, machine gun, and that's all
Yep.
they hear, and they think that, oh, you could drop this piece into any AR, then all of a sudden it's a machine. Like, no. So it was completely unjust, wrong, illegal, immoral, unfair,
Yep.
you know. eh,
All the above.
Yeah. So shout out to Matt. We love you, bud.
Yep.
I had him actually come on the show, from jail. He called
Oh,
in and we had him on the show, and then I was immediately contacted within 24 hours, and I was told that I needed to immediately pull down that video
interesting.
for reasons. Hey, BV Luminous, good to see you, bro. Yeah, which I guess probably shouldn't talk about that live, but yeah. So guys, I'm sorry. Some people hit me up asking me what the hell happened with the CRS video, and I was advised to pull it down for reasons for that are best for Matt. So just know that. Okay.
Oh,
So yeah,
it's
but yeah,
rough.
it's brutal, man, and we all need to support Mrs. CRS,
Yep.
Erica, as much as we can because she's going through it, man. She's alone. She was in a marriage where her husband provided for them, since day one, right? So
Right.
she's literally alone. She's physically alone, and she's also left alone to worry about the finances as well. And a lot of people are like, yeah, but like they raised all that money, but it's not the
Goes
case
quick, man.
because well, so definitely it goes quick when
Yeah.
you
Got a
know
family.
yeah, when you have a family, but the case itself, right? Like you guys need to know that they were not allowed to pull the money out of the GoFundMe until they put it in a legal trust and were only allowed to use that money for legal fees. So he couldn't pull that money for his own, family or expenses or anything like that. It was straight up only for legal fees. So everything that and of course other people did contribute later on to Give Send Go, which had a huge impact. And anyone that does shop at Only Tactical Fans, shop onlytacticalfans.com, and
Yep.
also um, um, the givesendgo.com/free CRS, that will help contribute to their family. So yeah, um, yeah. Thanks, Gabber. Appreciate it. So yeah, it's fucked up, man.
Oh yeah.
What's your kind of take on everything?
I mean, right on point with you, man. It's just it's a fucked up situation that I feel like a lot of closed-minded people had their hand in, when it came to the court side of things. And it's, like I haven't stayed nearly as up to date as you or John Crump have with it, but just following it and seeing what it's done to his family, it's heartbreaking. It really is, to see that happen. And it's just
Yeah.
really unfortunate because there's people out there doing much more heinous acts and terrible
Oh yeah.
crimes, to the people of our fellow man, and then yet, like, this is what we focus on. So it's sad to see those types of things happen.
Yeah. Totally agree, man. It's nuts to see a criminal justice system that does not lock up criminals.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't do as good of a job as it should locking up actual criminals, and that's constantly letting people out and giving them second chances. And in that same system, because they've made, white military age males that are armed the bad guy in the United
Right.
States, right? The whole MVE thing and the whole, you know, all the white papers that have gone out from everything from the ATF, the FBI, everything about, force reset triggers and braces and, unfinished streams and receivers, all this that they're constantly drilling down, that gun owners, gun builders, gun printers, gun whatever, anyone that's involved in the shooting sports, that they're, evil. And, this was just unfortunately, um, I believe, a group of people that didn't know what exactly they were even looking at, right? They
Yeah.
didn't,
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
yeah. So,
And it just comes back to, in generalized of, like, educating people. And it's like, again, why you do this and why I do these types of things is to hopefully educate at least one person. Just one person can make a difference by, helping them understand that, like, we are good people, and like we're kind, caring people, and we're not out to harm anybody. I don't want to, like,
yeah.
drawing my weapon is the last thing I want to do. But if it's to protect someone I love or protect an innocent life, like, that's what's going to happen, right?
Yep.
And it just sucks to be seen as someone. They portray these images of us that don't make sense at all, and we try and make sense of it, but it's impossible. So it's just, you just got to
Yeah.
keep doing good, and spreading the love, man, and hoping for the best for people like Matt.
Yep. Very good point. I couldn't ask to close it on a more poignant note.
Yeah,
So,
somber note, but it's got to be said. It's got to
you
be
know,
talked about.
I mean, you nailed it though. That's I believe that what you said is 100% true. And they're looking in the wrong places. And Come Out in PLA says the courts are amazing at making criminals.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
it's an unfortunate truth.
Yep. Osgood Black, what's up, man? Violent, free to go, peaceful, freedom loving person, minimum 5 years in prison. Yeah, I mean, basically,
Yeah,
I, you know, I was gonna like guess like, hey, I think he'll probably be looking at like this much time or this. I don't even want to say it. I don't want to say it out loud because
yeah,
apparently the prosecutor is watching like all of our streams, mine, Crump's, Rich's, and just looking for reasons to, impact him or
hmm,
maybe even us negatively. I don't know.
sure,
But the reality is that he's so people are throwing around the term convicted. He has not been convicted yet. He has been found guilty, and it won't be until July 31st that, that he is convicted and sentenced, right? So I am hoping and praying that maybe, like just maybe, the judge will have some type of change of heart, or they'll step in and intervene and just maybe say, like, this can't, like, we cannot have this person do, 45 years. I mean, that's essentially what he's looking at based on the
That's
initial
obscene.
charges. 45 years for making videos about, like, for driving traffic to a website that the ATF initially said were legal, right? They told both Justin and CRS that they were legal, right? Now, did he say some spicy things? Of course. Do I say spicy things? Of course. But that does not mean that he should be banished for the rest of his natural life, to be spent away from his family and to be spent amongst, other people, whether rightfully or wrongfully, sent to jail. It's wrong, man. And our system is broken, and it's a shame. So yeah.
Yep.
Uh Could start a GoFundMe, Governor Pardon. I don't know. I have no idea. It could go. Who knows what direction it's going to go? But free CRS. Everything that happened is bullshit, and it is wrong. So we'll see where it goes. We just got to support, him through his wife and kids and all that. Make sure they're good to go. So, and everyone's been jumping in and helping, and the communities come together. A lot of you guys and all of, CRS's viewers have all jumped in and helped, and you guys are awesome for that. So I appreciate all you guys.
Yep.
So hell yeah. Well, let's take a moment just to remind everyone again, really quickly, who you are, what you do, and where they can find you. And system isn't broken, it's run by criminals. 100%. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so Flood Munitions, I mean, I think most of these guys are probably somewhat familiar with me at this point, but anybody else in the streamers are new to the stream. So yeah, Flood Munitions on YouTube, on Instagram, a little bit on Twitter, a little bit on TikTok. But yeah, if I mean, find me there. Yeah, I appreciate you dropping that link there, Kurt. And yeah, any of you have questions for me, just feel free to reach out. I try and be super active with that type of stuff, just like communicating with my people and sharing what I can, and just being active in the 2A community. Like I was saying, man, running Shootah, helping out with Peace of Mind, like those types of guys, they're my people. And you as well, Dark. Like this is just something that I'm
Oh
very
yeah.
passionate about, so I'm stoked to be a part of it, and I appreciate you having me on your stream, man. It means a lot to me. So thank you.
Hell
I was
yeah.
super stoked to get that. I mean, when you first reached out to me, I'm like, oh snap, he wants me on his on his stream. Oh yeah, and then I
Yeah,
know we were
man.
a couple speed bumps there, and so I'm happy it was able to happen tonight. And right before Shootah, I think it was a cool thing to be able to announce to these guys. So hopefully they're
Hell
watching
yeah.
all the cool stuff that we're going to be doing there. So
Hell yeah,
appreciate
man.
it,
It
man.
was cool, man. It was great to have you on and learn more about you, and, the fact that you enjoy AKs. It's kind of rare.
Hell
So
yeah.
it's cool to chat about that and just learn a little bit more about what you're doing, and just kind of like how much you're involved with the world of firearms. So appreciate you coming on. And guys, if you haven't already, make sure you go hit up his Instagram, right? Go follow him, go like the last 10 posts that he
Yep.
did, and go comment and shit
Thanks.
on there,
And
like
hit me up if you guys want some stickers. I'm happy to send them out. I got to make another run. I'll probably be giving a ton of these out at Shootah, so I might run out. But I'd be happy to, if y'all hit me up, I'd be happy to send them your way. So
I gotta say,
love sharing it.
it is one of the dopest stickers that
Well, I
you
appreciate it,
can
man.
get. Like, guys,
You know
hit him
what's
up so we
funny?
get a sticker.
I'll tell you and the people listening. So when I did, so I mean, it was me out on some sand dunes, and I bought that outfit, and then the mask, and that's one of my arsenals there, and then my Davrinoff rig. But when I put that on, I was like, the wind was blowing like probably like 50, 60 miles an hour, and there was like sand everywhere. And we just tried to make it as quick as we could for the photo shoot. But I put on
Jesus.
my Davrinoff rig, and there's like two. I didn't put it on correctly, so if you look close, like the two straps are up front when one should be in the back. And I'm just waiting for I was like waiting for somebody to say something about it since it's like my like logo. So just figured I'd
Oh, that's
get it
hilarious.
out right now. So if you look on my profile on Instagram, it's like one of the first pictures that's pinned up there. and then I just took that picture and like cartooned it in a photo editing, and then made it into that sticker. But yeah,
Dude, so I actually did not realize or know or ask, this is actually a picture of you?
yeah, yeah. Here, I'll show you real quick. So it's like that's like my my main picture. This is it right here. I don't know how well you can see that, but
Hold up, I gotta put this on full screen. Hang on.
okay. Yeah, I mean it's like the first page or first picture on my Instagram. I don't know if that's even in focus, but yeah, that's just me on a sand dune. I got a bunch of pictures of it. I've got a 7.62 by 39 in my mouth,
That
ski
is
mask, and the
awesome,
Daffronoff rig. Yeah, and so I just like took
bro.
took it into a photo editing and just like went to town on it and turned it into a little image. Yeah, it's been
That is
fun.
incredible. I didn't know that it was actually I thought you just, like, totally, like, did this,
Drew it up.
on, like, Microsoft Paint or something like that,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
no, that's me, man. I got that
Dude,
jumpsuit. So when I went to Red October, I was wearing that jumpsuit all like both days, and like I went to Red October thinking it'd be like Clash Bash, where like people dress up. Nah, nah,
no?
I was the only person dressed up. I was wearing this like gold chain with a spray painted gold like foam cutout of an AK, just
Nice.
looking like a fool. And when I first showed up, I'm like, oh, no one else is dressed up. I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna rock it the rest of the time.
Dude,
And I
you
was hanging
got
out with like
to.
Clayco and those guys, and they're just like, dude, what are you wearing? I'm like, it's my get up, man.
Nothing. It's just, it's
It's
what I
my
wear.
normal thing.
Hey, let me just say he is holding an AK, okay?
Oh yeah,
So for all you guys out there, that's an Arsenal,
yep,
AK in
that's
his
a
hands.
Sam 7.
Yeah,
It's a good one.
damn. That Sam 7 is a beast.
Yeah, they're heavy,
Yeah, man.
like a
So
Cadillac.
really quickly, yes, Goonbeam, impeccable drip. So I
Thank you,
love the
Goonbeam.
fact that that is actually you and Goonbeam and Flood Munitions. I need to make sure that you guys connect because, like, I'm
Yeah, I'll
telling you, bro, the
hit you up for a
dopest
line, brother.
flashlights. Yeah,
Yeah,
man, for real,
I'm a
the
flashlight nerd.
dopest. Hell yeah. And I think somebody else said something that I wanted to hit on real quick.
Yeah,
Um, John Crump Live, you guys still up? Yeah, man, we're bringing it to an end. Flood with the Hawaiian drip. It's so the last thing I'll say is there was a show, a gun show, one of the biggest gun shows in the country, Oaks, Pennsylvania. It's
okay.
massive, man. It's huge.
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's huge, and, I went there, and it was around Christmas time, so I was like, "I'm gonna" and it was kind of like an event where, like, we told everyone we were gonna be out there, me, John Crump, Flying Rich, JST Supply was there, Shooting Gallery New England was there, P. Ralph was there, just a whole bunch of
Nice.
content creators all together, right? And I wanted to kinda spice it up because it was, like, almost Christmas, right? It was like December, like, 15th or something like that.
Okay.
So I took my plate
Spiking the
carrier.
eggnog.
Yeah, right? I took my plate carrier and I took these, little, like, Target Christmas lights that are, like, standalone Christmas lights you put a battery pack on,
Yeah, yeah,
turn
yeah,
on,
okay.
and I wove them all through the molly of the front and back, and
Oh,
I
that's
went
awesome.
with a blinking red and green plate carrier. No one else dressed up, okay? No one else, but I was the only guy and I just committed to it, and people were like, "Dude, you've been walking around with it," and, like, I didn't remove one thing from my carrier before
Oh, yeah.
before I went out there, so I'm in literal full kit while I'm walking around, and people are like, "Dude, you've been wearing that shit for, like, 16 hours, dude." I'm like, "Dude, it's comfortable, man." Level 4 ceramic plates, that's how
Dude,
you do it.
once you rock it, you just gotta stick with it, man. I
Yeah,
mean, the
you can't.
moment you, like, think it's weird and you take it off, then people are like, "Oh, you lost your, like, your get up. What the heck?" You know?
Yeah, that's
Just
your
gotta stick with it.
flair, you gotta keep your flair.
Just gotta be
Gabber
yourself, man.
Piet, hell yeah, man. Gabber Piet, thank you for the $5 super chat. He says,
Yeah.
"Thoughts on the Glock AR-15 DLD, it not being open to purchase to the public?" It is going to be open to, and thank you for the super chat, by the way. It is gonna be open to, the public, and I can't say how I know. Don't ask me how I know, but just know that I know it will be open to the public. And there may have been at some point some type of information on some type of medium leaked that was an ass load of semi auto only Glock lowers. Do I think it's good? I would say yes because it's a Glock, but I don't know a whole lot about it. So maybe we'll do some research and do a show on that. So anything anything Glock is quality, bro. They will not stamp their name on anything that is not legit. So, at first I thought it was gonna be a QD like barrel change setup, but that's just for the handguard. So don't get too excited, folks. But we'll see. I'll do some more research on it for you guys. But any parting words, any wise words, any fatherly advice for anyone before we head out?
I just want to say that thank you to everybody who stuck into the live stream, and like I've been trying to pay attention to the chat. I saw one guy was asking about the picture in the back, so that is it's a model for a beer company called Miss Provo Girl, and like she wrote on it, "Evan, call me in a few years." I got this when I was like 15.
What?
Yeah, so I've just had it up forever, and I keep thinking to take it down for like live streams or like talking to people. They're like, "What is this guy?" When the the
Dude, that's
lady in the back.
awesome.
But yeah, I just saw a couple people asking about it way back in the beginning of the chat. So, but
So
yeah,
when
dude,
I
I
was
just wanted
like
to. I'll go for it.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say really quick, it's kind of a similar situation, maybe not as cool, but when I was like, I guess I was like 12, maybe 13, I went to a family event and I guess I can't give out too much info. It was a family event and they were giving out t-shirts, okay? And I ran up to the girl giving out t-shirts and she gave me one, but she was like laughing hysterically, right? Because I'm a young like little dweeb at that point. And I put it on and I run to my parents and I was like, "Guys, I got a t-shirt." And they're like, "Oh, good." Right? Well, it was a Philly Blunt t-shirt and it was like clearly it was like a stoner kind of shirt, right? But like I
Yeah,
was a
yeah,
kid. Well, needless to say, later on in life, it was important that I got that shirt because it helped build the framework of who I became to be as a young man. So, yeah,
nice. That's how it
sometimes
happens,
things like
man.
that are important, right?
It's those little things. It's those little
Yeah,
things.
those experiences, right?
Yep, little things you
All right.
remember.
So we'll go ahead and bring it to an end. I also want to thank all of you guys and thank you, Flood Munitions, for
Yeah,
hanging out. And guys, make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel. Also, make
appreciate that.
sure you go to his IG, hit it up, like blow it out of the water, like all of his pictures, and share it with your mom and all that stuff. And
I'm all
and
about the sharing, like the sharing and stories and getting, because like, dude, when you're shadow banned, it's you gotta share. You gotta
oh
share with
yeah,
your homies. So it's how it
dude.
spreads.
Yeah, 100%. Even guys, just you sharing, it impacts the algorithm. Like they assign
Yep,
different algorithms based on that activity. So all that shit helps. Like, not only the other people seeing it, but also they assign different algorithms to it when it's shared more
yep.
frequently. So in the end, we'll go ahead and close this stream out as we always do, which is rule number one. Actually, hold on, before I do this, before I do my rules, I promised you guys I would show you something. So, like I said, I'm a multicam guy. Um, I had to remove this from my loaded Glock 21, but this is my now multicam coded um, TLR1 HL. It is a Cordura wrap, and this ish is
This thing's sick.
fire,
Yeah,
dude. I love it. So
wicked
if
cool.
I was gonna go pick up one of the, Flat Dark Earth anodized ones, and then I was like, "What? Why would I do that when I could just, I could be like Mr. Matchy," you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
it's all
why
about matching, bro.
Yeah, man, like, rule number 1 is looking cool, right?
Yeah,
Rule number 1
it's really
of,
the only rule, honestly.
yeah, I mean, we all know our firearm safety rules. Rule number 1 is looking cool.
Yeah,
So sorry, I had to show that off to you guys. But anyway, rule number one is actually be kind. It's so important that we're kind in everything that we do. That brief little, I should make a sticker with the rules. Damn, that's a good
yeah, dude.
idea. Thank
Yeah,
you,
that is a
Kurt.
good idea.
Um,
Nice, Kurt.
so be kind, right? It's so important that we're kind in everything that we do. That brief little interaction that you have with somebody could have a massive impact on their life. So just be kind, be a good person. Rule number two is live a life of care, compassion, contribution, give to others, right? When you give to others, A hand that's open to give is open to receive. So when you bless others, you become blessed. It's just the way that the world works. And then rule number 3, because we know that the only way for us to defeat evil is with good men skilled in violence. So make sure that you're becoming as highly skilled in violence as you possibly can be, and be safe, be dangerous, and keep that thing on you. And with that, that's it. We're out. Appreciate you
Very
hanging
cool.
out, Flood Munitions. You're the man.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Appreciate y'all.
Hell yeah. And guys, remember, after the video ends, go comment, because I'm using those comments in giveaways. If you guys are interested in winning things like the tack knives, titanium pry bar, the EDC
Nice.
pry bar, right? Then go comment on the video after it's saved to the channel. So I love y'all. Be easy. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.